Howdy, everyone. Hope everyone's doing fantastic. I'm doing pretty good. I was excited to cover the interview. I tried to keep myself in as much of a blackout as I could, but some curiosity did creep in, and I did see people's opinion of it, and apparently it was pretty underwhelming, which is really a bummer. Is that also your guys' impression? You don't have to really tell me anything about the interview, but did you find that it was underwhelming as well? Eh, well, it doesn't really seem like June's the kind of person who would like just lash out at Phil. And I feel like Phil's going to be a bit more careful because June is going to, have the power to make more documentaries. So DSP doesn't want to upset him, I suppose. I don't know. But from what I understand, it was rather devoid of extremely interesting moments. But I feel it's important to still cover it because the way DSP works is that some tiny, minute little detail in this interview is going to pop up 4 years from now. DSP is going to talk about that time that he went by the Taiwanese restaurant, and then later on we're going to find out that he killed someone there. So I'm excited for that. I was delving into the grass outside. Well, enjoy the grass. DSP says we need to touch it more often. Suppose I should. It was a bad interview, but I enjoyed the subtle Joon claps. Good. Joon didn't push back too much, honestly. Oh man. My opinion is that Joon has no interest in telling DSP his real opinion. More like let Phil do his thing. Which I guess is what DSP was wanting. He wants no one to really express any sort of opinion about him that's not glowing. But I'm watching it here on Raw Phil, as it's probably easy to discern. And I looked a little bit at the chapters, but I mostly was just scanning for when Joon disappeared. So I'm probably going to end the coverage right when Joon disappears, so like right here. And all this crap, I'm not interested, especially this crap. Hell no. So let's get cracking.
Good morning, everybody. All right, hold on 1 second.
All right. Hey, there he is. Love this guy.
All right, testing, everyone. Here we are.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Did a fine job maintaining professionalism while not falling into any of DSP's obvious bait. Good.
Is doing well and ready for a fun.
You do have to approach DSP with a very long spoon.
Build-up, meaning what I'm doing here is testing the tech, the settings, and everything to make sure that you guys can hear me and see me.
Okay.
And work out any technical bugs in the next 30 minutes before we have our guest Joon the King.
Let's just try and uninstall the whole system and reinstall it.
It's gonna be exciting. I actually really want to pick the guys. Right, here we go. Here's some technical things right there I forgot to do.
God damn, dude, you are all over the place.
So as usual, when I do these
I wouldn't really
special
consider that
streams,
technical, but
I'm gonna
it's
have this
fine.
be an archived stream on the channel that you can watch in its entirety, including this pre-stream, the interview, and the decompression after. It'll all be like one stream archive. All right. So if you want to watch it later on,
I assume Joon watched the Craig documentary and took some notes.
Breaking up
the Craig interview, you mean?
Pre-stream video. There'll also be an interview video.
Yeah, probably.
And it'll be like the decompression video after the fact, all separate, so that way you can watch.
There should be a Craig documentary at this point.
And FYI, there'll be absolutely no advertisements on the stream, meaning I have demonetized it. So there'll be no pop-up ads.
I'll still get money.
To the discussion, it's just going to be me and Joon talking for about an hour to an hour and a half. If he's going to give us his time, which is very valuable.
L Sandwich, that's a good point, because in some ways you don't necessarily want to burn the bridge with Phil either. At least in terms of you want to continue making content. Yeah.
Instead, we're gonna respect
that's why in some ways I'm kind of afraid of DSP talking to a detractor that's going to just start screaming at him. Which it's not that he doesn't deserve it, but come on, we can have fun with this.
Content that I put out, and if you enjoyed today's stream, please support it. I promise you, during the decompression session,
DSP definitely deserves to get screamed at and thrown down a staircase.
In due time, you will all get your shout outs and credit, and I'll answer any questions or anything.
Got this.
After Joon is
you're gonna get Phil to admit to grand larceny.
Cool. So we got a few quick things to talk about this morning before we begin.
All right.
If any contributions come on.
Yeah, I heard that he faked the vest streak, or the king streak. I'm still calling it the vest streak, even though there's no vest, because king streak's stupid, and there's no difference.
5 memberships to the community. Thank you very much, Hard Nose. I appreciate it.
I just got a whole bunch of money when the camera went off.
Very much.
Do you guys believe that?
No.
So first things first.
Well, kinda, but no.
I don't really understand Discord in this regard. So this is now the third time. Well, it's more than the third time actually, because we had the guys, Casino, then we had Keemstar.
Just
then we
finish your sentence, Phil.
Joon the King. All these times I'm trying to learn how to use Discord. I have Discord Nitro, the highest level.
Why?
And it claims that I can do up to 4K video and 60 frames per second.
Why?
Does this look like 4K video and 60 frames? No. And my webcam
I feel like it should count that as a new clone just because the DSP stance on paying extra money for nothing.
So I don't
but
know what it is.
That is kind of DSP's thing, so I guess I can't.
When you have Nitro, and they just don't exist. I don't know if there's some hidden.
Why would you buy the Nitro? Oh, whatever, doesn't
I would love to have myself be 60 frames right now. I am 60 frames on my normal stream.
All right, I'll try and be incognito economics.
Spike Vincent, yes, I'm using the app. I'm using the app right now. I'm screen capturing the app into OBS. And even the video in the app, it's not even just.
Wait, are you using? Is he using it through the?
It's only 30. I can't get it to show it. 60,
okay, I understand. I was using it.
I
thought it was really stupid.
In Discord to say select video quality. It just says select webcam.
Is this the BBC appreciation stream? I would like to think that's every stream, but yes.
Do it through Discord. I think right now, I'm probably like 720p and 30 frames.
So what exactly does this have to do with technical issues, Phil? I thought we were going to address technical issues. Now that's definitely a new clone. You're just complaining about the system.
So
that's not addressing anything.
The best I can do for interviews through Discord.
I'm addressing it by talking about it.
I mean, that barely counts.
I'm just scratching my head about this.
Okay, hold up a second. Look at this shit. Look at that. That looks terrible. I can't make heads or tails of what that says. Now I know what it says because it's the same image he used before, but that looks awful.
Like no one's complained. Oh, the visual quality isn't that good.
Yeah, and then I just complained that, Phil.
It's definitely annoying that I can't do what I want to do. Like I want.
Oh, that's a bummer, man. Maybe you should buy more Nitro.
Whatever.
Get another copy of it.
So that's that. It's gonna look like this today. It looks fine, right?
It looks fine. I don't really need to see high definition Phil or Joon.
I hope we don't have technical issues. Like we have with Craig. Craig had a million technical issues, and they were all on his end.
Oh,
like,
obviously.
His mic wasn't working at all. Then he got it working.
Craig's such a dumbass. He was ruining the interview.
It wasn't picking up his voice, and it took us like 10 minutes to figure it out. I think Joon will be a little bit more professional than that because Joon.
Yeah, yeah, Craig, you suck shit.
How to use it, you know. Typically when you're going to be on an interview, you prepare to be on the interview, so all your shit works. Not you show up at the interview and nothing works. It's kind of like an air of professionalism, and I think that Joon has that. So I think we're going to be fine today.
He's still kind of shitting on Craig here, man.
In comparison to
goodness gracious.
Anyway, and by the way, we do not know if Joon will have a webcam today or not. It is totally his call. Like he asked me.
I hope it's just his webcam is pointing at his ass.
Totally
he says, "Kiss it, Phil."
I know that Joon the King is not an on-air personality. He's not here broadcasting himself every day like I am.
Yeah, so because of totally Dale, kind of.
I'm just happy he's going to be on the show, and if it's audio only, I'm perfectly happy.
Yeah, for real, Hugh Neutron. That'd be kick ass.
Webcam on. For the conversation.
DSP is pretty tech savvy. He does find ways to break things no one else thought of.
Perry just gifted 5
But yeah, sandwich. That's a very good point. He's never ready for anything. Notice how he didn't have his shit ready at the beginning of this stream
last night. So Nico tipped me $2. Says I've been thinking about this year-end list. This year's been very weird. I don't even know if we have enough games for a top 10 game of the year list yet.
No, we have a top 10 DSP freakout list this year.
It's definitely been a weird year.
It's been a year where video games barely even factor into DSP at all.
No one expected to be good. Like I would argue one of my favorite games of this year is Another Crab's Treasure, and I never would have thought it would have been even good at all. And if you want my opinion, I think it's better than Black Myth.
I can understand why DSP is rather overwhelmed by Discord. There's a lot of settings, but this guy's overwhelmed by tic-tac-toe.
Thank you for that. Thank you for the first tip. Okay, so remember, there will not be pop-ups or anything on the screen. I'm only shouting out stuff now. Once Joon
you already said that, Phil.
Goes on hold, and then we come back after the Joon interview.
We've already been over this.
Quality again. And then we will.
Does he just reiterate himself to keep himself back on track? That's terrible.
Thank you so much.
That's not public speaking skills.
The weirdest thing happened last night. First of all, yesterday during the daytime stream, during the podcast and the original gameplay of the Marvel vs. Capcom collection,
Bill Talking has tempted me to try to play Tales of Arise on.
In every regard, it was super chats were great.
Display resolution. Oh God,
tips were great. All good.
So that's how I get the DSP roleplay effect. Is that I have all the resolutions set to kind of conflict with each other, and that's how everything looks so blurry and shitty.
Our goals. I thought it would be the end of the streak again, which is fine because we can always restart it again. I feel like we have that momentum. If we have a day stream with a good podcast and a good gameplay, it's going to always
probably Hugh Neutron. Who knows? It might be that drugs would help DSP get back on track. Maybe he just has a very weird brain where if he smokes crack, he's perfectly normal afterwards.
And it was fun. We still can't play MVC2 consistently, which sucks. I really want to. But I can't because I think the stupid thing.
Rock, paper, scissors is too complex. Yeah, because the meta is broken, dude. Everyone picks scissors.
X-Men versus Street Fighter. And by the end of the stream, we had raised $77. That's a great stream.
And DSP, well, he likes to kind of, use low tier stuff. So he always picks paper, even though he knows everyone's going to use scissors.
I was pleased. Is it the end of the streak? Yeah, it was the end of the streak, right? So then I turned the stream off.
How's it going, Irie?
Up for Ask the King, right? I'm running around turning this off.
Oh, this guy's going to lie to me. I'm ready.
Started, and had a Windows update and stuff like that. So I'm doing all that, and I literally just sit down and I start recording Ask the King. And as I'm starting up Ask the King, I see a blip in my inbox. What? And I look, someone tipped $100 as the stream was going offline at 9:47 p.m. Normally, I end my stream.
I don't believe you, Phil. Well, it still doesn't count towards the streak because the stream was over,
I'm sorry,
Phil.
I mean Daily Rap. I'm sorry, guys. Everyone's yelling at me. Why are you saying Ask the King? I meant to say Daily Rap. I was the Daily Rap video. I mean,
everyone's yelling at me.
Okay.
Okay, let's see this. Ask the King, wasn't it the Daily Rap? Don't you mean Daily Rap? That's two people. That's screaming at Phil. DSP, you're such a weak ass individual. Yeah, probably L sandwich. I'm gonna look like a complete dumbass.
Okay, so I'm doing the Daily Rap, and this $100 tip appears. Well, it didn't appear, but I noticed it was in my inbox, and I read it, and this person says, "Just please keep this anonymous."
No, we got a new alteration on the story. Before it was a blip came up. Now it's in my inbox. Okay.
Now remember what I said. I said if it continues through today to tomorrow, so that would be this stream, tonight's late stream, Friday Night Fights, and then tomorrow's daytime.
All right, I got you, Banana Jones.
I will order food during that first stream, and we'll do an impromptu Feasting with the King tomorrow after the gameplay of the first stream ends.
I thought you said Feasting with the King was canceled, Phil.
In a month and a half.
This guy is all over the place.
I just don't know what it'll be yet.
He just planner drifts across his own
that'll be tomorrow.
train of thought.
So that was pretty cool.
I guess that's me, but when I do it, it's funny.
Again, if you want to see that happen, if you want to see the King streak continue, crushing the goals, felting the detractors, making Duty cry. I don't know why it just fits naturally saying making Duty cry at the end of that.
I don't think you make Duty cry, though. I mean, if you dream of it, that's fun.
Right? But anyway, if you want to do that and you like the kind of, please,
yeah, L sandwich, he does. DSP's eyes are glued to the inbox when it comes to donations. It's not glued in any other way. I feel like he has some sort of filter set up.
I was like, wow, we hit the goals. Wasn't expecting that.
If you send him an
at all. I
unban
thought it was gonna
request, he
end
doesn't
in
really
team.
see
So
that. He
thank
has
you
to
for
check
that.
for it. You send him
Whoever that
money?
was,
Oh,
anonymous,
yeah.
$100 tip last night.
That's coming up
And,
on screen.
the streak continues, which is excellent. All right. Now,
Did
to
he
make
set
things
that up,
perfectly
though?
clear,
I guess he just
today,
prioritized
alright?
emails from
today is going to be a very
PayPal?
cordial interview with Joon the King. I want to pick this man's brain about his methodologies and how he does his work. You know, how he actually feels, perhaps, about some of the subjects he's done. His
Why do you
documentaries
care
on.
if he feels
And
anything, Phil?
obviously, like, I'm going to be a big subject of discussion during this interview.
DSP
because
just had to
I'm the latest
deprive me of my
documentary he just
satisfaction
did,
by
right?
faking the
And
last
I'm
second tip.
fascinated by, you know,
Yeah, and
what did he come
I
across
assume
in
that
researching,
we're
how did he
supposed to
feel
look
about all the
stupid for
topics and
this,
things.
but
And you guys
DSP, I
submitted a ton of
can't get
questions
through to
for
you
him.
hard enough how little I
Over
care.
30 questions. There's no way I'm getting through all those questions.
It's
But there's a few I'm
utterly
gonna skim
meaningless to
through,
me.
pick some of the best ones. Just so you know, I might already ask him some of these questions before we get to the like.
Are you gonna ask him what kind of sandwich shop he would run?
Why did he make multiple thumbnails? Why was he changing the thumbnails back and forth? And what made him settle on the one he did?
Yeah, okay,
Also,
but
that got
Jones, so
rid
it's a
of the
new
balls
clone
filled with
either
the hole
way.
that's
This
on the phone
guy
right now, right?
swings
Like, that's a
back
good
and forth
question.
on the
That's
stupid
actually
thing.
a legitimately good question. Everyone was wondering that. Why was it doing that? So, so that's some good stuff.
Maybe
I might
he
already
realized how
ask
stupid
him
it was to
some of these
demand payment to do
questions during
something
the
and
interview,
then
all right?
criticize, you know,
So FYI,
gloat to
I
your
might have
God
to,
for
you know, call
demanding
it out
payment
later
to
if
do
I've already
something.
asked him the
Somehow I
question.
doubt that,
But
though.
we
That
might get to
requires a
we
lot
might
of
not,
thought.
But I'm going to try to
Doesn't
integrate
sound
your
like Phil.
questions into the interview to try to get some good answers for you because these are great. Where was the other one? There's another really good one that I
Yeah,
like.
Lil Shadow. He's
I
desperate
already
to
said, like, how
keep
does
the
he feel about
clout.
subjects?
He wants so badly to maintain this advantage.
I mean, this is a good question. How
There's
do you
no
feel,
advantage to
with the
maintain,
amount of
Phil. It's
harassment
an
that I get on the
illusion.
internet versus the stuff that I have done? Does it feel like
I
it's
usually
in
use
comparison
rock.
compared to the
I
other people, the
almost always
documentaries
pick
out
rock. So if
there?
someone's
These are
doing rock,
documentaries
paper,
on
scissors
people
against me,
who
pick paper.
have done
And
some
I
really
know you
pro
think,
stuff
you're thinking,
and,
oh, it's some
you
sort
know,
of psych
have
out. No, it's
entire
not. I always pick
posts of
rock.
hate against them, right? So that could be an interesting question, right?
Because I forget, like, I guess I'm just disabled. I forget what the other ones are. So I just keep pounding
Okay.
my fist against my hand and I'm like,
But anyway,
rock.
it's gonna be an
Yeah, take
interesting
that.
interview for sure. I'm excited for it. But I want to make this clear. Today,
I'm
this
too
is the
stupid
focus.
to do
The
rock,
interview
paper,
is the focus,
scissors.
and then we decompress.
DSP
When we
and I
do
should
that,
duel.
Probably I'm going to play some Marvel collection, and that's the stream. Today is not a normal level 1 podcast. Today we're not doing.
Okay, Phil, we've been over
certain
this.
drama because already people. Did someone send me the LTG clip that I was looking for? Yes, I have the LTG.
Oh,
clip.
big
I can
deal.
react to
You
it. We're not doing
don't
that.
even
Yes,
want to
when
get
we have time
involved
for it
with
down the road, we'll do it.
LTG.
I'm not doing that today. That's not the focus of today's stream. You understand?
The focus
Yes, I'm
on today's
aware
stream is being
that there's
confused.
Ethan Ralph content.
How are we doing
there's
so far
content,
at that?
distractor content. I'm well aware of all of it. We're not doing that today. That will be for later on in the week.
Oh,
You know,
wait.
maybe
Oh,
tomorrow. Depends on
shit.
what happens each day, right? So like I said, I gauge what's going on.
There we go. Sorry,
My
I
levels
fixed my
of
mic.
importance or interest, and I'm not going to sit here talking about the same subjects every day because that's just boring. I wanna mix
DSP,
it
I
up.
feel like that's
So
a
we
new
will
clone.
definitely
You
address
do,
certain
in
things, but
fact,
they'll
discuss
probably
the
be over the
same
course of the coming
subjects
weeks.
every
We might
day.
not
You've
hear
discussed the
today,
same
Saturday,
subject
Sunday, Monday,
on this
Tuesday. A lot
stream
of days, a lot of
multiple
podcasts,
times.
right?
That this is
So
not going
no
to be a
reason to beat
normal
a dead horse
stream.
every day.
It's
You
the
know, you come
4th
back
or
with the
5th
horse
time I'm
resurrected,
hearing
you
it.
beat
What
it
the
back
hell are you
down.
talking about?
Right? By the way, Dick Jones gifted
Oh,
5
nice.
memberships to the community.
At a
Congratulations
point
to
on
everyone
the
who just got a
interview,
gifted
DSP had
membership. I
400
appreciate
plus
that.
viewers, and WPIG
Thank
had
you so
its
much.
lowest
I
point,
appreciate that very much.
1.2K.
Okay.
Well, those
So,
viewers really should be filled,
FYI,
right?
everything is looking and sounding good, guys. I just
Back.
want to make sure we're having no technical issues right now. The stream looks good.
Okay,
It
man.
sounds good. You can hear me
Looks
clearly.
great.
I'm capturing, and it seems to be working.
Yeah,
What I'm gonna
probably
do
you.
is when June's going to come on, I'll stop recording. I'll hide the screen.
If you're fast enough,
I'll
you can
do
Roman
this.
cancel into paper or
And now I'll
scissors.
invite
I
him to the
should
call,
try
get him
that.
on the call. Once he's on, then I'll do this.
I'm gonna have to like
Alright.
drift my
And
hand
that way,
across.
no stuff will be shown. Should be fine.
Ooh.
FYI, that's how we'll do it. And when he comes on, this is going away. That's not even going to be on the screen when he's on the show.
Why
There's
don't
no
you just
point in
take it away right
being
now?
on
Why does it need to
when
be
he's
here
gonna
right
be under my
now?
attention, okay? Thank you to Andy. Andy just gifted 5 memberships
Andy,
to the community. Guys,
hey,
it's awesome.
Andy,
Thank
big
you. The
ups.
community, I'm sure,
Who
appreciates
the
it.
hell's
We've
Andy?
seen a lot of great names in chat recently, getting access to all of the awesome emotes on this channel, and also not having to
The
rely on
awesome
slow-mo
emotes
moves
like
to get
Why
to
Am
the
I
chat
Toxic, which
crown
looks
to show
really
up on
hard to
this
see.
quarter of the channel.
That one?
Pretty amazing. And you know what? I'm going to say this. Boy, am I happy I never changed the stuff on the channel, like the crowns and stuff, because, you know, I rebranded a couple years ago. I used to be called the King of Hate, right? That was
You
my
still
moniker on
kind of
Internet.
are,
But the
Phil.
problem is the meaning behind it versus what
Oh, God,
my
I don't wanna
idiotic
hear this
distractors spun it
again.
as was drastically different. You know, the meaning behind it was that these people who hate on me all the time,
And I
right,
used to
they
hate to motivate me
improve
and
myself
fuel me,
constantly and do
etc.,
better and
etc.
prove
Dude,
them wrong that I'm
DSP,
gonna
how
be
about I
successful no
tell
matter
the
what they
story
do.
this time?
So that's really where the King of Hate moniker came from. But these people turned it into, oh, he's a bigot. He's a sexist and a racist and all this stuff.
Well, you
It's
kind of
not
are,
true.
Phil.
I mean,
And you're not
you'd be
even good
hard
at it
pressed
either, which is
to
really
find more
weird.
than 5 to 10 minutes of content like that over my entire 16-year span. But early on, I used used to do the
Damn, I need to find that
commentary and
clip
stuff.
that my
So
wife
that's
sent
what
me
they
of
aimed. Oh, look at what he did
the
14 years ago, and
racist
look at what he did
prank,
yesterday, right?
and it was such
So I got rid of that
non-racism that
moniker,
it
so we're not
became
gonna
kind of
call
funny.
myself the king of hate
Hey,
anymore
Asian guy,
because
why don't you cook
people
some
idiotic
rice?
just they
That
believe
sounds good.
anything. They're stupid. You know,
Good
they really
idea.
are. They're just dumb. and they'll believe anything. So if they're told that Phil's a racist or a bigot or a sexist and he's the king of hate, they'll believe it, right? So that's why I said, well, let's just get rid of it then. So
Okay,
did,
we
right?
deleted
Changed
it.
the branding of the channel. As you can see, like the crowns and everything remain the same. So now I'm back. I'm the king now.
Man,
I'm not
Joon,
the king of hate,
hurry
I'm
the
just
hell
king. That's
up,
my
man. You
moniker
got to
now.
save us
As
from
viewed
this
by the guy at
shit.
Kino Casino, right? And you guys like it, and I think it's a good shtick. We got a crown and everything. So it just works. And now I didn't change the branding, so it all fits. We even have everything popped, everything already set up for it, because that's what it used to be anyway. So
All right,
well,
so
I'm
the
glad I
king of
didn't
hate
change it.
is
I'm really
maintained.
glad I didn't change it, 'cause
DSP,
then
it's
we don't have
not
to
really
redo
even
everything
about the
again, right?
racism part. It's
Yeah.
just that you're a hateful dude. At
Good
least
stuff.
that's how I interpret
Of
it.
course you deserve crowns.
DSP's
course you deserve
just
crowns and
hate
pieces. Of course you
incarnate.
Don't
He
don't
hates
shortchange yourself.
everything.
There can be more than one king. Today we're gonna have Joon the king on the show, and he's
Oh,
a
big
king.
ups. Can
And
I be a
there's gonna
king,
a couple
Phil?
of kings doing kingly things.
Yeah, that's
what this
true,
is gonna
Dan
be.
Jones.
A nice
And
civil conversation.
DSP has been
about
racist
his,
multiple
filmmaking
times.
process and everything about making documentaries. I'm fascinated to pick his brain about this, and have a great conversation about it.
He's been racist more times than you would really think anybody on the internet would be, or at
All right,
least an
so we have a
average
little bit of extra
person.
time. Right now, I've shouted out everything. We have no super chats. We had the one tip, but we had a lot of gifted memberships. Thank you for those. 10 minutes left roughly before I get Joon on.
How's it
here.
going, Heinz?
What do you guys want to chat about? Tag me in the chat. We'll do a little bit of
Can we talk
Q&A here.
about? Oh, let's talk about the
And
king
shout
of
outs and
hate
contributions come in,
again.
and then we'll get
Can
him
you
on
tell me
again,
that story
okay?
again, Phil?
Have I thought about changing the
That
border?
king would be pretty
Like the
cool.
border of the podcast?
Is there a
What do you
king
mean? You
gun?
don't
There
think the
kind of
borders-
is. The White
I think the
Rider.
borders are great.
It's
White
got a
House.
crown. Hold on. We gotta take a field trip. Now that you brought it up. Yeah. I guess we could just go to the premium Bandai page. Yeah. Look at this goofy piece of shit. Come on, load up. Look at it. It's got a crown. How silly is that shit? And that is the king of hate. He's got the hate cannon. This is what he uses to ban people. That's why he's so effective at it. Look, you got the heavy duty banner, and you also have the Gatling banner. So you can, if you got someone who really needs to get kicked out, say you're making fun of Cat, use the big one. If you got a bunch of idiots repeating a meme, you can use the Gatling. Yeah, that's pretty cool. And he's got like a deployable armored shield for when you try and criticize him. It just bounces all off him. And then he's got a sword, and not really sure why, because DSP's not really a blade man. But the crown, yeah, that definitely fits. Anyway, Phil, what were you saying? The White Rider, it's called White Rider because it's a reference to the Book of Revelation. You got the Pale Rider, the Red Rider, the Black Rider, and the White Rider, named after the horses.
People are trying to suggest ways around the webcam issue, but it doesn't work. Like, for example, someone said, if your webcam is 60 frames, have OBS just use your webcam, but then have Discord.
One of my socks got banned for asking what's the meaning of chat wearing crowns, and that was directly a question Tevin asked. Why would you get banned for that?
In OBS, then it doesn't work in Discord. There's an error. It won't.
That's
like, it won't work at
stupid.
all. Like the person won't be able to see me, so I can't do that. Daisy 303 with the super chat says we are
So
not
silly. How many of
Thank you
these
so
you gonna
much,
buy? Unfortunately, I never
Daisy.
bought one. I have it in Gundam Battle Operation too, so I don't really need it.
Well, must have had caps lock on it. There we go.
All right, let's go.
Taskmaster Warman, you're late. We just talked about the community questions. That
DSP, come on, man. You repeated multiple things this stream.
Interview with Joon, but if we get through it and we have some extra time at the end, I will.
Well, okay, he's repeating. Never mind.
Here on my TV to pull up if we need to.
Hill Rider was a different mobile suit entirely. Not really. They're all based on the same development frame. But they had different combat applications. Red Rider was a close range combat. White Rider was long range support. Black Rider was more stealth. And then the Pale Rider was more general use.
Which is a good reason. But it's not a system seller because they're not coming out with enough exclusive games that are good. They've had so few Xbox exclusive games that are good that there's really no reason to just buy that console over PS5. So even if they come out with a Pro, I don't think people are going to go out and buy it.
All right, can we get Joon in here?
The Left 4 Dead games, but I was disappointed with the Back 4 Blood reboot attempt. Astrobot continues tomorrow.
Yeah, that one, Tino. That's the best one.
And then it's going to be the daytime stream on Tuesday. We have a schedule change.
The King of Hate does fit Phil.
As you guys know,
it's one of his few things that he did that was rather appropriate. Because he is a very hateful dude.
This month, I have about 2 hours of work I need to do, which means there's no way that I can like squeeze it in.
It reminds me of Archer. That's so classic King of Hate.
So Monday night there will not be a late night stream. So that means what we're going to do is, all right, here's a quick schedule rundown for everyone.
Goddamn, man.
It's the Joon the King interview. Then it's the decompression.
Come on
So there'll
now.
probably be extra time. I'll reset the stream, and we're gonna do a little bit of Marvel vs. Capcom collection.
I don't like this, Phil. I don't like all these recap segments.
To end our segment here. Tonight on the late stream.
Are you guys hearing me okay? The microphone levels are looking weirdly low, even though they haven't changed at all.
And Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2 on the first stream. The late stream
I think it's
tomorrow
all
night
right.
will be
But
okay. Saturday is my React day. So the first stream will be the Level 1 podcast, and then we're going to jump over to the DSP Reacts channel for DSP versus the Internet, my weekly Clips React show. And then Sunday night, we're going to
Wait,
go
are you
to
talking
the DSP
about
Throwback
Lita
channel,
from
and we're gonna do Retro Reacts to
Sailor
Resident Evil
Moon?
1 Director's Cut. We started this last week. It was a
Her
blast.
voice
It's
actor
really
died, I
fun.
heard. That's a
Reacting to my
bummer.
original runs and cool horror games.
Just
So
don't
we're gonna do that
die.
again Sunday night. Then Monday, the day stream will be Level 1 podcast, followed by another Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2 stream. No night stream on
goodness.
Monday because I'm going to be filming the patron videos. And then Tuesday will be my final consecutive
At
stream.
this
day
point,
this
I'm
week.
asking
With
very
the
nicely
Astrobot
for
on the
June
day
to show
stream
up.
and the return of WWE champions on the night stream. And that's my streaming week. Okay? There's the schedule. There's the updated, addended schedule for you guys. Alien Boy 13 did a super chat. Was there anything in the documentary that offended me?
I agree,
No.
Stefan.
I mean, everything that was in the documentary was exactly as
You
I
were
expected it to be.
offended, Phil.
Like,
That's not true. You
it's
were
not like
offended
he
at the idea of
made anything
nepotism.
up. He didn't pull anything out of his butt.
You
that no one
accused
else
him
had
of doing
talked about
that.
before. He basically just condensed an insane amount of information into one 4-hour video,
Man.
right?
You a liar, Phil.
And he added his own research and/or commentary on it. But
Sexual
there was literally
commentary.
nothing offensive. Just reporting on drama is not offensive.
What?
What would
Okay,
have been offensive
another new
is
clone.
like if at the end of the video he was like, and based on everything we just saw, DSP is obviously a piece of human shit, and we should all deride him. That would be offensive, right?
It
Right?
wouldn't offend
He
me,
did it. He was
DSP.
very- he was trying to
Why
be
would you be
objective.
offended
He
by
was
that?
trying to
You're
be
the king of
fair,
hate.
you
You should
know?
be able to take that. You are a piece of shit, Phil. You can't get mad at him for telling the truth.
Big Papa Phil says, will you ask him why he didn't seem to comment at all about viewers who are here every day enjoying your content? Most of the coverage of
Most of them are stupid
because
as
it's an
shit. What's there to
it's an internet
comment on?
drama documentary. Like that's
And
the
in
point, you know
covering
what I mean?
Oprah,
Like,
do you have to cover the
like, I
audience?
understand.
Why?
what you're saying, but you have to understand that
You
that's
should
the point
cover
of
the
video.
people who got pissed
Like,
off by
and you gotta
Oprah.
understand how the game is played. The game is played that if he covers the negative stuff, right, in a way, then people will.
There's
be
one too
interested.
many Sonics in this
If you
chat.
literally
Ban
cover
all
everything and
Sonics.
he's like, yeah, but most of this isn't really a big deal. So I don't really know why I'm making a 4-hour documentary on this guy because he has a bunch of people that like him anyway and don't really care about any of this. It wouldn't be a very convincing story. would
No,
it?
it wouldn't. It'd be
You'd be
a
bored.
complete
Like,
load
oh,
of
crap,
crap.
I just watched this, right? Again, I know how the game is played. I have no ill will whatsoever towards June after having watched.
What
that
about Turkey Tom?
battle.
Turkey Tom didn't
Not
do
the
any
slightest. I
worse.
think that it was fair. He covered every topic.
Oh,
Now
because
there
you were,
literally isn't
a
one-stop shop
decade of
video to watch
failure.
about me. Okay, and he made it clear that it covers. It says right in the description, it covers me to early 2024. Made it clear that did not include things that developed during the year and happened. Right.
Goodness.
In fact, that probably will be one of the things I ask him is, are you aware of what's been going on in the last month and a half?
He is
That I've
aware.
finally
He doesn't
broken out of
care.
My defensive shell. I've done crossover events with Kino.
He is aware. It doesn't matter.
Star, and I'm doing all this fun, positive stuff now. I have a new audience that likes me, and I'm actually way more successful now. And they don't care about the things of the past; they just care about the future.
Yeah,
And
because
you
they're
know that,
stupid.
right?
That's not
I'm
something
curious,
to
I wanna
brag
understand.
about. They don't
And
care
he
that I
says,
abused
I
them in
have
the
no
past and
confidence in
lied
you
to them in
gonna
the
blow it.
past
That's
and
his opinion,
manipulated
he's
them in the
entitled
past.
to it, right?
They're chill,
Who knows
positive
if he's even
people.
following
No,
it? I
that
don't
sounds
know.
like
He's probably
broken
on to the
people.
next 10 projects. That's how it is when you're in a documentary, and you can't just dwell on one thing too long, right? You do a ton of research for it.
Hey,
and
he is
you put
kissing
it
his
out, you hype
ass.
it up for a couple weeks. You're already on to the next. You're already, you're moving into the pipeline to the next.
Okay,
thing.
whatever, Phil. I believe you.
Was there a positive thing about me in the documentary?
Not really.
I mean, the FGC stuff is silly, but absolutely he acknowledges the fact that I was good at fighting games. No one can dispute it. By watching that video, there's definitive proof that I was good at competitive fighting games, which my detractors have tried to lie about.
Dude,
for the
you're
last
not
10,
good at
15
them.
years. You can see me winning tournaments in it. And he
Okay,
outright
okay,
was
hold
good at
on a
fighting
second, DSP. Look, dude. Look at it from a numbers perspective, okay? Your claim is that you are good at fighting games. Now, that's kind of a broad claim. Are you good at Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo for PlayStation? Yes. Are you good at this other fighting game? No. Are you good at this other fighting game? No. Are you good at this other fighting game? No. Are you good at this and so forth and so forth? How many fighting games has this dude played? He played Fighting EX Layer. He played a bunch of different fighting games that you've forgotten about. And he sucked at all of them. So this claim that he makes that I'm good at fighting games, there's definitive evidence. You're good at a couple games, but are you good at fighting games on the whole? No, you're not.
games. I mean, I was an asshole in the community, but I was good, right? He talks about the success
I'm
of my
good
early
at
days,
Dead or Alive,
right? That I was
5
doing,
last
things
round. Does
made
that
a lot
mean
of
I'm good at
popularity on
fighting
YouTube,
games?
and I had a lot
Hell
of
no.
success, and I was a big part. He talks about all those positive things, for sure. It isn't until really the drama starts around 2012, 2013 with This Is How You Don't Play. And
Oh,
then
yeah,
rolled
that's
into
where it
the
all fell
trap
apart.
groups and
People were
shit, and it just
toxified.
continues. And that's like the whole.
There was
final
no more
two-thirds. I would argue
Philomania.
The first 1/3 of that documentary is not even negative.
Yeah,
It's really the
exactly,
final
Cardinals.
2/3 that
Well
gets
said. I
really
like
ugly
that.
negative, right?
DSP could have gone pro. He just didn't want to.
That's nice of you to say. Daisy says, you have a much better attitude and outlook on things than some older stuff I've seen. I'm happy things are going well. And
Okay.
so much happier and healthier for it. I agree. Like, I seriously,
You guys
I
love
think
me.
now having this
Far
different kind of
out.
outlook,
Where the hell's
you
June?
know, about life and about all kinds of stuff is just a healthy way to go about it. I used to be so butthurt about everything.
You
Anyone
are
who said
still
something negative
butthurt about
me,
everything.
"Oh,
DSP,
how
you were
dare
a
you," right?
profoundly
Now I
negative
just roll with the
individual.
punches. I don't really care anymore. You know, I've been around for 16 plus years. I'm planning on being around a lot longer.
Oh, yeah?
And I hope that you guys will be along
When it
for
comes
the
to
ride.
Street Fighter 2 on
But there's
PlayStation, was he
absolutely no
good?
reason for
Maybe.
me
He
to get all
lost
in a
to 3
tizzy
guys
about
from
every little
Japan
thing these days, right?
because
Like,
that's all they brought.
to what end would it behoove
What if they would
me
have
or
sent 8
benefit me
players? Yeah, he would
to
have
be all
somehow,
over every
well,
person who says something negative about DSP, right? There's
if there were
tons of them
8
every day,
competitors, he would have
and
come in
you're
9th
always gonna have your critics in life. I have way more than most people, but at the same time, as
because
long as
you were
I'm doing
more
what I love,
criticizable.
as long as I'm hanging out and having a good
You've
time,
done
and
more to
relaxing, you know,
criticize.
we're all just chilling and enjoying life together, right? And we have a few laughs along the way. We have a little bit of drama, a little bit of fun games, you know, all this stuff is all part of it. But why would I care about other people trying to rain on my parade when the parade continues in a positive way anyway?
Because you
Right?
have before
Here's
and
one
you
or two
still
drops.
do.
Get those off me, right?
You still shit on people, Phil. I don't know what you're
There you go.
talking about. I don't know what this spin is. It's clearly exclusive to today because you flip out over shit all the
Yeah, oh, yeah.
time.
I used to be band happy. I mean, now you see, most of the time, I would prefer not to even moderate.
That
I would
makes,
prefer to have a
speaking of
chat
that,
not
hold on.
moderated,
Let's
but
moderate.
sometimes you have these
Let's
really
get this
idiotic
dude
people
out of
coming in
here.
and they really are going out of their way to say and do toxic stuff, but coming with
Yeah, like
pronouns.
asking
They're
about the
trying to dox
crown.
and they're saying racist, sexist, disgusting things. And then you have to moderate, right? You can't just
What
let
did
that
I
roll
say,
on
Phil?
YouTube.
What
You
did
gotta
I
be
say
able
that
to
was
carry it.
ban worthy?
But you know, that I would prefer to just have an open discussion with everyone about things. So the thing is, to let people talk and say their piece.
You
and
ban
get more
me.
opinions. You get more criticism. You hope you get more constructive criticism. Sometimes you
I
don't, you know what I'm
didn't even
saying?
criticize you, Phil. I
Sometimes
was
you
just
don't. But
asking for clarification and you
reality,
banned me.
in reality, I think having open discussion is better than having like a closed off thing. You know what I mean?
Well, that's definitely a new clone because, well, first of all, the lie about I don't ban that much, that's just an outright lie. And the part about how I don't get worked up over stuff, that's another lie. And now he's saying, you know, open discussion is great. No, that's a lie as well. Because remember not too long ago, he was talking about how detractors were asking to be on the show and DSP said no. Why don't they get a chance? Why is there no open discussion with detractors? There could be open discussion in my chat if I don't ban you.
I have the most ban-heavy channel you've ever been on. Then you must have only been on this channel and one other one where they don't moderate at all.
Yeah,
No idea
clearly.
what you're talking about. Seriously, like, where do you think you are?
Yeah, good call, Bell Sandwich.
What a stupid
Okay,
thing to say.
I'll probably add another one because it does seem like there was another one in there. I get banned for suggesting a
All right,
secret
here's what we're
limited
gonna
video.
do.
Yeah, that's
I'm gonna
toxic, man.
stop
That was
recording. I'm
basically
actually gonna use the
racist.
restroom. Perfect time to do so because I'm about to get Joon on here, and then we'll get started. All right, so just give me a sec. So this will be the end of the pre-stream build-up. I hope you guys enjoyed.
Yeah, Heinz, there is a weird
again,
level of
before,
overlap
during
with the
the
propensity
interview,
for
I
lying
will
between
not be
those two
shouting it out
dudes.
or paying attention to it. Just
DSP and
forewarn
Hogan.
you. All right, I'm going to be focused on Joon and giving Joon my attention. When the interview is done, there will be a decompression session where I will do shout-outs for all of you, and we'll have a fun
What are you going to
conversation and
decompress
we'll
about? Is he
together
going to swing
and
a
get all
chain at
opinions
your
after the
head?
fact. But we're going to
I can only
give
hope.
Joon our full undivided attention. All right, please be respectful, as always. All right, I'm going to stop recording and get set up. I did stop recording. Just give me a sec. I'm just going to run and use the restroom. I'll be right back, and then we're going to get this set up for Joon, okay? I'll be right back.
It's some sort of weird emotional manipulation he does on his chat by saying that he never really bans that much unless it's something really bad. It's a way of justifying all the people that he's tossed out. That DSP has never banned someone for a minor infraction. It's always been for something serious. So if you see someone getting banned, just know that it was serious. Don't go back and try and see what they said, okay? I assure you that what they said was extreme racism. And they insulted my wife. This guy, Lynn the Deranged, asking the difference between safe scumming and using mimic tier. Dude, that's basically the N-word. Yeah, he's got to get out of here. Not even the propensity, the method, and how they do it is similar. Yeah, it's almost like he's moonlighting as Hulk Hogan. That same Evo, he lost out right away on the Cabinet Street Fighter 2 tournament they held at the hotel. Yeah, I heard about that part. That's funny as hell.
The sock accounts that are already in the chat, as you can see, they're starting to speak up. They literally waited for me to get up and use the restroom. So let's get rid of the sock accounts.
He's banned people for saying a fighting character was good. Yeah.
3 or 4 of them.
He banned someone for saying that his opponent was good.
Their nonsense the whole stream.
That's racist,
right?
man.
Just focus on our guest here.
No, don't check him out, El Sandwich. He's toxified.
There we
He
go.
talks about Gundam and JoJo all day.
Okay, let me hide this.
Exactly, Ramen Brahman.
Whoa, here it is. So let me end the video call with myself. I've literally been calling myself. Now I need to get this set up to get him on the screen. So hold on 1 second.
You're calling yourself? Are the calls coming from within Phil?
Okay. It's tough having 2 screens.
How does
I
he know
can't
their
see
sock
one.
accounts?
I have to get
Exactly.
up
It's
and go to the
bullshit.
PC to even see it. Hold on.
But he also wasn't able to identify sock accounts before. Remember that? He didn't know. That might be someone on a sock. Well, you said before you know. You think Spiral should be in the next X-Men movie? Because I actually like that character. She's pretty much a different Mystique. Well, yeah. I think so. They need to put Banshee in.
Okay.
Banshee
You
was
still
my
hear me, guys,
favorite
right? Yeah, my
shitty
microphone works
character
for
in
both
Marvel.
apps. My webcam does not.
Even though he's
So,
not really
I basically
shitty, he's
have
just
to,
goofy.
Have the
I'm
webcam only
screaming,
working
man.
OBS, which is why it only shows at the 30 frames. The phone's on here.
I've heard, Heinz, that it's pretty disappointing.
Okay. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Voice your video. Hold on.
DSP, I like the
million miles
DSP
away,
radio
DSP.
show. You kind of have to use your imagination that he's flying around the room, T-posing.
Sorry. I'm an amateur.
Mm-hmm.
All right, here we go.
What are we doing, Phil?
Oh, hold on. Something just happened.
Oh, shit.
Hold on.
Am I on?
Wall came down.
But I had a issue with my Discord. Hold on a second, because I think I've had streamer mode on, so it's not.
Why don't you
showing. Hold
just
on 1
mute
second.
your mic and figure this
No
all
problem.
out and then come back? God damn, you're terrible at this, Phil. You are so ass at this. I can understand if you just started streaming, these kind of scenarios would happen. Or this is your first time using Discord ever. Okay, these kind of things happen. You've been
Well-
doing this for how many years, Phil? Oh, he listened to my advice. He shut off the mic. Good call, Phil. That way you can exchange racism with Joon the King. He's actually he's another king of hate. It's like a franchise, right? You got your King of Hate Renton, you got your King of Hate Dallas, your King of Hate Miami. You want to cover as much ground with hatred as possible. Yeah, exactly, random name. Good call. Good call. He was shitting on how unprofessional he was. Look at this crap. This dude. Wow. See, this is exactly why you don't shit on people, DSP. You don't shit on people because eventually a person like you is
Guys,
going to get...
I want you to know what's going on.
your
This has not happened
comeuppance.
before. So I'm trying to open the video call with Joon, and Discord says, "Well, this is awkward. It has crashed." And I click
Hilarious.
reload, and then it just says, "It's awkward. It crashed again." It's
Hilarious.
doing it in a loop, and I don't know what's causing
It is funny when it's an
So I don't know
actual...
what's going on.
it's an
Like,
actual
I have to
bug.
restart my PC or something.
'Cause then
I've never seen
DSP's
this happen
completely
before.
lost.
It's always just worked. And you saw I tested it right before, and it was working with me.
I
so
mean,
I don't
I
know
gotta
why
work,
it's
you
crashing
guys.
like
You
this.
have to believe me. You know what, Phil? I
We might
do
have to
believe
do
you. It's
audio
still
only and see
funny.
if that works, because when I'm trying to open the video call,
For
that
some
keeps crashing.
reason, the
And
Discord
I
has
don't know if you could hear, but
uninstalled
Joon was
itself.
talking for a second, it was working, and then it stopped. So give me a second.
If
Joon, I'm sure
Rouge
Joon's probably trying to
touched
wonder what's
Phil, would
going
she
on. She's
start
probably here.
T-posing
I'm
and
gonna try to figure
pre-streaming?
this out, and go from there. I have
Rogue.
no clue.
Rogue.
So let me mess
Rogue.
around with
Rouge
it a
is
little bit.
that
I'll
bad.
starting it a couple times. Close the Discord in Task Manager.
Phil's
and
trying to
pull
felt
hard
people who
reopen it.
thinks owe him an
I'll try that.
apology.
Let me do that. Hold on.
Trying to felt people who he thinks. Oh, okay. I see. I misread that. Is it really a bug though? Who knows what Phil has done? Yeah, it's true. He might have spilled water all over it. Remember when he spilled water all over his computer and he got mad that his computer started acting up? DSP has so many goofy ass moments throughout his history. This was stupid that water affected my technology. I agree, Phil. It's 2024. Things shouldn't be susceptible to water anymore. This dude is copying LTG. Yeah, you got to pay the fee to get the webcam. Hello? The camera comes back on and it's cat.
It's just giving me the same error over and over. I just
All
closed
right,
and
DSP,
reopened it,
call
it's
him up
still
on the
doing it.
phone.
So I have absolutely no idea what's going on. It's never done that before. So
Are you
I will
getting
let me text
DDoS'd?
message Joon here and let him know. I'm probably gonna have to do a whole restart.
DSP's getting
I don't know what's
cyber
going on.
attacked.
How stupid.
He's got a bunch of net runners messing with him. Brain jack, eh?
Hey,
We have waterproof phones. Why not waterproof computers? Come on, man. Is your computer waterproof, Phil? It seems kind of
I'm gonna try
old.
to restart my
But
PC and
no,
work,
there's
it
all
just
these
keeps crashing.
updates. They should
Discord crashed 2
update it so
times
it's
in a row,
waterproof.
I'll try to get it going. I'll be right back.
I agree, Phil. That seems reasonable.
All right.
Are you a
How's it
demon?
going?
I'm already a demon,
I had
cause.
to talk to him on my phone. All right, let me try to restart, guys. So here's what's gonna happen. The stream's gonna go
Diamond
offline.
dogs.
I'm gonna try to get everything else up and running again, which sucks. I have to do
I
it
think
again. don't know
DSP
what
should just
happened.
get a new
Hopefully it'll
computer.
work. It works on my phone, obviously. It just doesn't want to work in the
no,
program.
no,
It's
thank
having
you, L
problems,
Sandwich. I'd
so.
rather not.
All right, I'll be right back, everybody.
She's down there flicking the bean. Oh my goodness, dude. Why? DSP, maybe we should do a hangout stream, IRL. Hang out with Joon, have some sandwiches, get thrown out of the sandwich shop because you were asking about mimic tears. Yeah, sounds good. DSP's in chat crying. Settle down, idiot. Fix your problem and get back here. I didn't change anything. It doesn't matter, Phil. You don't have to do all these PR moments. I swear I didn't do anything wrong. Okay, we know you never do anything wrong, Phil. We know it's everyone else's fault all the time. You don't even have to tell us at this point. I'll blame Discord for you, okay? Discord's stupid and they don't even know how to make an app. Phil, the guy who doesn't even know how to make a sandwich.
Where does the tortilla go?
I would like to see Phil do a Lego kit. It's gonna be so funny. He's gonna drop half the pieces, lose them, get mad that there's no replacement pieces, mess up multiple times during the construction, break a couple pieces somehow, and then get mad and rage quit it. And by the way, there was only 20 pieces in the entire kit. Somehow that all happened. That race car is never gonna get made. Yeah, Discord is a bunch of crap, and Nitro is a scam. Probably done by the Cannon brothers. Are you alright after looking for Jenny Ortega's feet from Beetlejuice 2? Are they actually present? How the fuck I end up here? I don't know, Medusa Jr. It's kind of weird, eh?
Did you step into any wormholes recently?
Come on now, Phil. Discord is run by furries. Don't buy Nitro. You've got a whole board of undesirables, don't you, Lackey Bracky? Pro tip, buy 2 Lego sets. That way you always have extra. Yeah, it's a good call. It's sad that his chat was more entertaining than the actual podcast itself. That's DSP's tendency. How much time do you think there is between DSP starting his first gunpla and permanently losing his first part? It would be a Roman cancel. He would cancel into losing parts. Because that's how it happened. He'd open the little bag and he would pull it open instead of cutting it open with scissors. And when he pulled it open, a couple of the pieces break free and go flying. It's instantaneous. I love that Lackey Bracky says that every time it's not a podcast. Speaking of which, I'm working on, I'm almost done with the model that I'm working on for my father-in-law. It's pretty cool. It's my first time doing weathering with, was it Mr. Color Weathering, I think it is? He'd be pulling them off the sprue by hand. Yeah. And snapping the shit out of them.
What are nippers? That sounds like a slur.
That's okay, Phil. This is actually one of the few slurs you're allowed to say. The Dirt Angel is sponsored by Medusa Snake Hair? Do what? If I had my camera set up, I'd show you guys the progress, but it's, well, people might have negative opinions about it. Yeah, I'm doing washes. It looks really muddy. I haven't gotten to the level where I'm doing chipping effects with colored pencils. I want to do that eventually. And I didn't do battle damage like bullet holes and stuff. I have done that on a previous kit, but didn't do it on this one. I just wanted this one to look like it's been around for a while in the elements. But it's in Spetsnaz colors. Spetsnaz vehicle colors. So it's tan, green, and black. And I used the masking tape. Oh god.
People, you gonna spend it on burgers?
Sponsored by Media Hair Products.
Sponsored by Medusa Hair Products, eh? Thank you very much, Medusa Jr. I appreciate the sponsorship. And what was I gonna say? How exactly do you think she treats her hair? Do you think that's shedding all the time? That'd be gross. If you had snake hair dandruff, well, I guess you'd by default have dandruff if you had snake hair, because all this skin's peeling off. Yeah, that would be some pretty powerful product. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. All you need for chipping is torn up sponge and silver paint. Yeah, which I got, but I just didn't do it on this one. I didn't want to. I just wanted to look kind of muddy. And I did do that on a Zaku too that I used for the tabletop game. Dude, these Japanese people don't know how to make instructions that normal people can read. Yeah, they don't have anything like numbers and letters. Alright. Bill, if you keep... How long is this going to take? Okay, I'm going to go get it. Let's show you guys. This should be good. Nothing docs worthy is on screen, right? Alright, good. DSP, don't get back just yet. Alright, so here's my shelf. Here's what I have finished so far on the main body. This is it. I did a effect with the masking. God, that is really blurry looking. Oh, it's because I got the green screen effect on. Turn that off. That's much better. Okay. So it's got a tiger stripe effect that I've done with it, and it's done through the process of ripping masking tape. You can kind of see that it's got a jagged edge. Just need to hold it a little bit better. And pretty cool. I've got the markings and identifiers on it. Can't really see that too well, but you got your number 2. Is my camera so blurry? How did the camo with masking tape? So you get your masking tape and you rip off pieces and kind of carve them up with just your fingers. Just keep tearing them, and then once you have torn off sections that have the ripped edging all around, use that. It's really cool. It gives a really nice brush effect. So it looks tiger stripey. And while I'm working on that, I also this is a backpack. Looks pretty good. It looks really muddy and grimy and shitty on purpose. And here's the shield. You got your division number and all that. And they still use the red star, so throw it on there. I guess you don't want to let all those good emblems go to waste. Do you paint with acrylic or lacquer? I paint with Mr. Hobby all the time. Mr. Hobby is the best paint, so lacquer. It's not even a competition. Mr. Hobby is empirically the best. It's the easiest to work with. It goes on really nice. Did you hear about the Oreo Coca-Cola soda? No. That's all the games I have? No, I've got some more down in the cabinets below. And also, those games are double stacked, so there's more behind them. Thank you very much, Snoot. I appreciate it. Do you do airbrush painting? I've been asked to do an airbrush stream, but I just don't have the setup for it. Also, my painting laboratory is not nice. It's very shitty. You see these videos with you know, these Japanese dudes, Korean dudes. They all have these really clean laboratories that they paint in. No, that's not me. Oh, Snoot, it's so easy. It's so easy to use Mr. Hobbies. You get the paint you're looking for, and you mix it 1 to 1.5. 1 part paint, 1.5 paint thinner. Perfect. It's just perfect. Comes out great. And with Mr. Hobby, you really only need 2 coats to get the color that you're looking for. And I could even recommend you an airbrush. I have like an airbrush that's the AK-47 of airbrushes. It's not particularly super accurate, but it is durable as hell. You can, it cleans really easily, and its coverage is really nice. And you don't even really need to thin that much for it, but you still should anyway, for the sake of, you know, how the paint's gonna look at the end anyway. But it's a solid brush. And I've never painted a gun. Oh, unacceptable. It is an Iwata. I think it's called like the CS Eclipse. That makes me feel better about my art. That's part of the setup that I have to do. Is I have to make my paint laboratory not look like complete crap. Yeah, I don't like using acrylic. I tried using acrylic once, and the paint pretty much peeled off as the model kit was moving around. It's kind of hard to get Mr. Hobby to peel. You have to make it happen. Can we get a body painting stream? No. Too much body hair, man. Make that robot fall in love with a Barbie? Well, there's a couple mobile suits that have semi-sentience. Yeah, I made my spray booth. I got a plastic bin and drilled a bunch of holes in it, and I had a hose leading to the basement window, but it broke. So I bumped into it and ripped it, and now I just use the holes, and that's more or less fine. And what's also cool about Mr. Hobby paint is that it doesn't have a really terrible smell and odor. It's pretty normal, because before my paints would stink up the whole house. These don't really do it. But that's my thing, is I like painting camo. I prefer camo painting over really any other style. Noble Gundam shipping. I don't tell my wife about this, but I want to make her a model at some point, because she's building a PC, and it's got one of those glass casings, and she wants to put little figurines and doodads in there. And I want to buy a Noble Gundam and paint it so it looks like an Adidas tracksuit. And so she can have her Gopnik Gundam. Made a whole booth out of some cardboard. That's good too. Yeah. Cardboard's not gonna suck it out. It kind of absorbs it. Water-based sprays are the way to go. Sorry, I can't agree with you. Mr. Hobby just kicks so much ass. Well, thank you, DSP, for being so considerate and letting me talk about model kits while you're busy fighting with your Discord. Make her Beetlejuice? She's not a Beetlejuice fan. Water-based sway? Gin-based sway. I kind of want to do that into the abyss. I want her to have some vodka and a baseball bat or something. This is not in the upload, I don't think, Heinz. This is the raw stream. I feel like that's authentic to have this included. Do you ever play co-op games? Not typically. I I really don't play a whole lot of video games in general. Not really. I used to play video games like crazy until maybe 5 years ago, and then I really started dropping off. I usually play the same 3 games over and over again. I play Gundam Battle Operation 2, I play Dead by Daylight, and maybe a 3rd game that rotates in and out.
But we can see him.
Yay!
Thank you, Joon. I mean, obviously, with all these technical
All
difficulties, I
right.
really appreciate you doing it this way. Sorry that you can't see me, and I'm gonna have to fix this for future appearances. All right, so let's
Sweet.
officially. I'm gonna hit record here.
How long
We'll
did that
actually
take,
start
Phil?
this thing. Thank you, everyone, for your patience. Thank you, Joon, for your patience. Really stupid thing. Okay.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah,
it's not a problem.
Yeah, stupid thing. Not my fault.
All right, here we go.
Why does he
All
have
right,
a painting
everyone.
of
Hello,
red?
and welcome to a very special edition of the Level 1
Modern art
Podcast.
confuses
My guest
me.
today is the internet documentarian on YouTube, Joon the King. Joon, how are you today?
I'm doing good, man. Ready for this podcast or whatever you got for me. Let's do it.
Excellent.
Sweet.
So,
It's
for
not
the
a
record,
podcast, by the way.
Joon has been doing documentaries on YouTube for quite some time. I've
You
been
should
actually
start
watching his
calling that.
documentaries
I
on YouTube
invite you to my
probably
pre-stream.
between 2 and 3 years now. From various different people he covers.
What the
And,
hell is
usually people
that?
Who are invested in a lot of internet drama, and they have a reputation. And particularly the reason that Joon is on the show today
How's it going,
is
Neil?
because he just did his biggest documentary all time, almost 4 whole hours, covering me.
That red thing is a
myself, Darkside
TV,
Phil.
I think.
And
Okay.
so obviously it's a pertinent time
It's
to
weird.
have him on here on the show and to pick his brain a little bit about his methodology, how he goes about doing his work. The documentary.
Well, I
particularly,
start by
how it came
slandering the
out
shit
and,
out of you,
the
Phil.
work that went into it. So Joon, I would like to ask you right up front. All right.
What did you have for dinner?
In regards to my documentary, like, how do you think it did? Because it's now been out for about, I'd say, around like 11 days or something like that. And I think it has around, like, I want to say like 725,000 views or something like that. Like, is that what you were hoping for with a documentary
Well,
of this
obvious.
magnitude,
That's a
with the
stupid
amount of
question,
engagement?
Phil.
I don't know yet because the way YouTube is treating it's very strange. It has a high click-through rate. It has crazy like average view like retention.
Man, June's really quiet.
But with like video this long, I think I won't really be able to tell until like a year from now.
Look at
because
DSP
it's so
nodding
long
his
to,
head like
for
crazy. Oh, yeah, I'm
so
listening.
it's
I'm
hard to say,
engaging with you.
yes.
Yeah, and I'm going to say this. I honestly think YouTube cheated you out of some views because if you
Oh, my
remember,
Lord.
when you did the live premiere, you had 8,000
You should sue
live viewers
YouTube,
watching
June.
that thing. And it was only, what, like an hour
And
and a
take
half
him
in,
out.
And there was so much viewership on that, it
All
crashed
he needs
the
is a
system,
bow
and you
tie.
had
He'll
to
be
make it
professional.
an
I
on-demand
feel like
video.
DSP should
And I'm
have
wondering if
a
it even
a
attributed those
side
early views to the
sidekick
video,
with
or
a
if they just
band.
got erased somehow,
Yeah, I don't even know what happened. I think it was because it was on Labor Day, and maybe the site was getting like extra too much for the service. I really don't know what happened.
Yeah, it doesn't
But
matter.
if anything, I also have like an ID.
Oh,
claim
I'm
with a
excited for it,
WWD
L
on it,
sandwich.
So
Oh,
yeah, I know. But it's easy to really sort out. So if it keeps going like in a weird direction, I might just upload it as an actual upload. So that way it's like distance from the premiere, and maybe YouTube might pick it up see it a bit differently. I really don't know. Like,
Who
it's such a
cares,
weird
man?
video. You know,
It's
yeah,
whatever.
but
If it's something you
like,
care about,
differently.
fine. But it just
right.
seems kind of
And you had
weird.
just started doing the live premieres recently, wasn't it? It was the Rich from Review Tech USA video that you did your first live premiere, and that
Yeah,
was
you
big
should
on
do what
YouTube,
Phil
so
does and
you
never
have been doing
fail.
it, I guess, to figure
Stupid.
out what's really going on. So
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like, well, that is my.
June
I
always
guess,
looks like
decision
he's
to take.
recording
Right now, I think
whatever
the video's
from
doing,
some
like,
sort of
pretty
closed
decently.
set
It's gonna
or
surpass
no, he
Review
looks like
Tech
he's
USA
recording
maybe,
from
like, a month from now. So it is on a good
witness
trajectory for sure.
protection.
that's great to hear because
He's extremely
listen,
minimalist.
I knew when I've been following your stuff for years now. Okay?
I'm not
and
seeing
I
a grocery
keep
bag
watching,
anywhere.
and I'm like, he's covered Wings of Redemption, he's covered Boogie, he's covered this person, he's covered that person.
Someone
And
in
I've been
Phil's
saying this
chat
to my
puts up a
audience
head
recently
nod
that
counter.
when you're an
Good.
internet personality and you put yourself in front of a camera every day, you're gonna get your turn. You know what I mean? You're gonna get your turn in the firing line. People are gonna be talking about you. And I was always wondering in the back of my head, when is Joon gonna do one of these things on me? Because I know it's coming, right? So I'm curious, what was your methodology in selecting me? Why did it take
Who's
so
the
long?
goofiest dude
Because
I
a lot
know
people
of?
were wondering why, in 2024 was the right time for the DSP doc when you had done ones on Wings and Boogie and others in the past.
I agree, Hugh.
Well, people wanted this video forever. Like for ever since I started making like videos about people,
A lot of
people
people.
have wanted a DSP video. But I was reluctant to do it just because I knew it
That's
would take
true, L
a very,
sandwich.
very,
Gotta
very long time, and
dodge
it did.
LTG rocks.
So I just kind of like bit the bullet, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do it just to get out of the way, and I guess here it is, right?
Yeah, there you go,
That's really
DSP. You were an
all it was, like,
obligation at
people want
best.
it, here it is.
Right. Now, in regards to the documentary on me, it's definitely the longest piece of work you've ever done. It's 3
Oh,
hours,
yeah,
27
I'm
minutes.
so
It's
interesting, man.
incredibly intensive. Like, it goes through my early history before I was ever a YouTuber, all the way through the early days, mid-course, and all the way up to almost
Yeah,
present. It
exactly,
stopped about
Tino.
earlier on in 2024. Why
LTG
did you
will be
decide to do
excited
such a
if he
long
gets
documentary,
beheaded.
particularly on me, when your previous documentaries had always been much shorter than that?
Well, I mean, it's your timeline, right? So
Yeah, you've
it
been
really
stupid for a
reflects
long
the
time,
time a
Phil.
person is notable. And let me reference, let's say, the like Wings documentary, right? Videos.
Sure.
Wings really like he has a really lengthy history, right? But he really only became like relevant in the, I guess, low count space in the past maybe 8 years. You have been causing a
42.
bit of mayhem since like 2003, 2001.
Yeah, you've
So
been
it
stupid
was really
since the
because
start,
there was
Phil.
just so much stuff to cover, and people like people still wanted more.
Damn, look at all that head
I guess,
nodding.
but yeah, it was just because there was so much stuff.
Right.
Looks
All
like
right, cool.
DSP's getting
So
electrocuted.
in your process of coming together and working on something like you said, this has been
Coming
requested
together
for
with
many
who?
years that you do the DSP doc, and eventually you're going to get to it.
Back.
When you first, because we had actually, a lot of people may not know
Just
this,
finish
but
your
I'm friendly
sentence.
with Joon. We've talked behind the scenes for a couple of years because
Come
I
on,
personally
man.
asked for his permission to react to some of his documentaries.
But what I mean by
which
this
I didn't
is,
have
well,
to do, it's
anyway,
his
like
choice, but
this.
it's the right thing to do. You be a gentleman. You ask someone, hey, can I use your work? And he always gave me permission to do so. And so now you had that previous couple conversations with me, and now it's time to do my documentary. So I'm just curious. Did you have any preconceived notions about me? Like, what
Yeah,
did
you're
you know
crazy
about
and
me
stupid,
before
basically.
you started working on the documentary? And did you go about making this documentary any differently than the other ones that you had done
And Boat, I
previously?
needed your
You know,
help the other
some people have
stream because
said
people were
it's
asking
weird because it looks
about
like you
the
took
Ralpha
the
mail, and I
interviews
didn't
you
know
did for the
anything, and I'm
documentary, and
stupid.
a lot of your other documentaries, you don't
Help!
do that. You just kind of just rattle off some facts, and in this case, having those discourses in there with various people made it feel a little different.
Okay, so I approach like
Exactly,
every
Sonic.
video
He's
like I
he's
guess
in
a
the
bit
groove
differently.
right now.
Some I feel do require the different like approach, and typically if there's like a lot of like easily like accessible public information out there about someone, like that's really all I need. Like
Such
why
as
would I have to go
Pig
out my
Pig
way to
Go.
interview someone unless I want to make it like that much more intense, extract that information. But the difference with you was I believe you contacted me, and once you breached that barrier, I'm like I can't reject this. It doesn't feel fair. So like let's get you in on this. And because I'm talking to you, I feel like I have to talk to your opposition. And
Oh, see, there's your first
it kind of
mistake,
developed
June.
more and more into that. And there's also like a lot of like I guess investigative work about the WWE champions. So it's a lot of elements. Another piece was to because it was so long. I'm like, why not even just go the extra step and get like a little bit more interviews here and there too.
Gotcha.
DSP heard none of
What I
that.
really liked,
Not a single
oh,
word of
people are
that
saying
was
June's audio
received.
is a little low. Oh, I can try to up that. Hold on, everybody. Sorry about that. Here we go.
The only good thing in
That's a
this is
little better.
I don't want to read
Um,
that just yet.
what I liked was that this time you went all out. Like in this documentary, you had
I
all
refuse
these
to let
graphics
Imbo
and
take
things
me
going
down
on.
the
Like I
Ralph
really
rabbit
liked how you
hole.
had
He's
the
fun with
virtual
it though.
the Phil show and all that going on. You had the
No,
virtual
you're
ring.
cool, Imbo.
Like you could
You're
tell that you
cool.
went the extra
Don't worry
mile.
about it.
You
We'll
basically did a lot of
discuss it
production costs
later.
on that.
You know, you
And
dig?
I think people like that. Like if you're gonna go all out and you're gonna have people doing a 4-hour documentary and you expect them to sit there and watch, they don't just want to see a bunch of facts and drama. They want to have some other things added. And the fact
You know,
that
I'll
you
just
talk to some people.
I'll just go ahead and interrupt Phil there for a second and tell people about that. Imbo and I were working on a channel, and starting next week, next Monday, I'm gonna be sharing the link on my YouTube page. If you guys want to go and like and subscribe ahead of time, because we're gonna be doing more stuff. It's not even more stuff. We're gonna be starting the stuff soon, so get hyped now.
Outside of just, hey, here's what happened, but having those interviews, the fact that you had those graphics, I
Anyway,
think
what were you
that
talking about,
added
Phil?
to the quality overall of the documentary.
What
Um,
graphics?
and people I think have received it pretty well. If anything,
Oh yeah, Phil. It's a
a lot of
very
people have asked me,
fascinating
what do
story
I
of you
think
being
about the
stupid.
documentary? Okay, and I'll just give you my personal opinion. I think it's fair. I think that you touched upon pretty much everything that people expected you were going to touch upon, and
Yeah,
it was all
basically, L
kind of
Sandwich.
summarized into one like super video. It's all the
It's
drama arcs
covering
from
other
time of
locales.
existence, things from before YouTube people didn't even know about, and everything.
We're going to be
Not
discussing
once in
things
that
outside of
documentary do I
Phil.
feel like you were trying to be like dogpiling
That's all I'm going to
on
say right now.
anything
That is
fair to
already
me,
a
and I
lot.
really appreciate that because I do feel like there have been some documentarians out there that are kind of unfair. Like they'll try to over exaggerate or hyper focus on one part. You didn't really do that. You really
No,
just
you
were
had 4 hours
actually
of stupid
covering
moments to
everything.
get to.
Some people, I'm going to be honest with you, Jim. Some people have been nitpicky about certain parts of the doc. For
You!
example,
That was
some people,
you!
about the PC. All right, this PC.
That was
this
you
guy,
being
Mike
nitpicky,
Mercado,
stupid.
built me this PC, and when I arrived, it was partially not working as intended or as promised.
There were
And we got into a
people
big
who
skull
had
about
my
it
exact
publicly
same
about the
opinions.
cost and
How about
everything.
that?
And a lot of people were like, why was that such a big deal? It's just a PC. And I think, at least, all right, from your perspective, just to ask you this, why do you feel
I
like
don't
that
know
was
if
a
I
key
can
part
give
of the
Ralph
story,
the
this
proper
one
attention a
situation about
locale
the
like him
PC,
would
that you
need.
even had him on. You
It
interviewed him
seems
specifically.
intimidating.
It was just another example of like how you slighted a fan, right? It was just another like, and it was someone that I could interview, right? It was someone that can get like that is still accessible to this day that can tell their story, and that is just to like I guess bring a voice to all the people you really I guess, slighted over the years. It was just one example, if that makes sense.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, that totally does make sense. Because I listen, when I was watching this thing, I was
And I
publicly
would like
admitting,
to see a
yeah, I
pie
make tons
chart
of
of
mistakes.
how
The
much
problem
time
was in my
DSP
early
talks
days,
compared to his
I had a temper,
guest.
and I basically would like act like I could do no wrong, right? So
You
if
still
someone
believe that,
criticized
Phil?
me,
You still
instead
believe
of
that?
listening,
You
I'd
still
immediately
believe
shut
that?
it off, and I'd be like, "Oh no, I know better than you. I'm the big shot. I'm
Do
the
you
big
think this is
YouTuber. I'm
boring?
the
It's
one
not
with
very
the successful
interesting so
business.
far.
How dare you even say that I'm doing something wrong or whatever?"
Just
And it
DSP
really irked me, that people would do
re-streaming and
that.
there's a
And then over
guest.
the years, I've definitely learned to mellow out, and now I at least hope that people think that I
You have
could
not
have done
mellowed
that.
out. You've been
And
yelling
I'm
at
not trying to
people.
just reach out, excuse me, and attack every person who's being negative towards me. But particularly with this PC
Like
situation,
Ralph Mail?
this was one of the first times
DSP didn't reach
in
out.
my
He was
history
checking
that this was someone
e-meters.
who had been an outspoken supporter of mine. Like you had said, they built a fan site for me and everything. And when this thing showed up, I really did feel like
Man,
they
look
kinda
at
screwed
this
me
dude.
over.
Look at Joon.
And
He looks so
quite honestly, I
bored.
probably shouldn't have made a big deal about it. I should have just let it go. It's not a big deal, right? I'm the YouTuber. I'm the guy making the money. I can just get another PC if I'm really that bothered by it or whatever. But it got to me, and then I start talking about it, and then I misspeak because what actually ended up
This is
happening
just
when
an
I reacted
apology
is we reacted
stream
to your
and
documentary.
not an
Someone had
apology
sent me
of the
the original
conventional
video
use
where
of the
I never
word,
brought
but
this up.
apologetics.
Played
He's
it
just
live on the
explaining
stream.
everything.
In that original video, I had said this PC is $1,600. Like I outright said that, and that was correct for your research. You confirmed it was a
Look,
$1,600 PC.
Joon, you can leave,
But
man.
because I'm
This
so
is going
cute,
nowhere.
right? And I can't let it go, and I hyperfixate on it. And this guy keeps talking about it. I keep
Oh,
talking
there
about
you
it.
go,
The
Tina.
narrative changes to it's $3,000. I don't even know how that happened. Like I don't even know where that confusion happened that the number got inflated. So it's right that you would call me out on that, and I'm glad that you did. But when there's certain things in the documentary that were kind of hyper.
By the way, this is a meme idea for anyone who's trying to make some DSP content. DSP reminds me of a talk show host who introduces his guest, brings them on, sits them down at the couch, and then proceeds to do the opening monologue. You could kind of make a skit of that. It could be like if I don't know, Jay Leno was DSP, and then you bring on the guest, and Jay Leno just does an extended monologue. That'd be kind of interesting.
Focused on those moments. Some people were like, "Oh, I wonder why, particularly this or that was such a long."
How this
segment."
question
The other
started,
one,
there
the
are
big
some
one
people that pick
actually
at
want me to
specific
ask you
segments of the
about
documentary.
is
Like,
when you
you're
started
so
talking about
lost.
VTuber.
What are you trying to
Because
talk
people
about,
are like,
Phil?
it seems out of place. No one really thought that a VTuber thing was a big deal. What was your methodology with the VTuber segment? How did that come about?
Because it
Well,
was
Phil,
funny.
you're like, this is a very long question. You're adding a lot. So I guess I
Oh,
have to
go
go
ahead. I'm sorry.
No,
No,
it's
you're
all good.
not.
So the $3,000, I believe, came from a comment, and Mighty Furtado, I'm pretty sure, has that comment on his Twitter where you stated it was $3,000 that you said, right?
Yeah, he asked like
The
6
VTuber segment
questions
too
stapled
was kind
together.
of like to show you like how you are still notable even like today, because VTubers are like, I guess, uniquely
They're definitely more of a modern invention.
more recent. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? They're a very new form of content, yet they still talk about you. And
Yeah, DSP's
surprisingly,
reaching
that
new
was, like, one of the more
generations.
viewed segments of the video was the VTuber segment, so I think it was a good idea to add them too. It was just like a bit of fun, even though it
Yeah,
was more
I
like
agree,
one
Spurs,
way.
man.
I think it was kind of interesting.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay, time for me to talk now. Shut up,
June.
Joon.
Your documentary, I didn't even know about. Like, I had no idea that VTubers had like a fixation on me.
They,
I
they,
didn't
they
know it was
don't.
a search engine to search all my videos
Look at
for keywords on me for a loop.
look at
There's
this.
things
Look at his face.
in your documentary I didn't even know about. Like, I had no idea that VTubers had like a fixation on me. I didn't know. I didn't even know about. Like, I
I
had
want to see that in slow mo.
no idea that VTubers had like a fixation on me. I didn't know.
You'll get used to it,
search
Joon.
Engine to search all my videos for keywords.
No, I'm not
Right, how
watching
many
it in
times I
mode.
said
I wanted to
that's so
cover this,
wild,
mostly
man.
because it was
Detraktors
really
actually
boring
go out of
last
their way
night.
to fish the transcripts for certain words and things. Well, I mean, that must have been a tremendous help for you with the documentary, right?
That's
Yeah,
funny,
no,
El
it was
Sandwich.
great to
Thank you
know
very
for
much for
viewers,
telling me
but
about that.
it's a really nice tool. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah.
Okay. So
I think at this
basically,
point
I just wanna
already,
make it
Joon knows
clear
how this is
before-
going to
'cause
go.
I just wanted to get my documentary stuff up front out of the way before I talk to you about your own, stuff going on.
Let's
I just
grill you
wanna
on
let
this
know,
shit
I have
first.
absolutely no ill will towards you whatsoever. I really don't have much or any issue with the
Exactly,
documentary. There's
Void.
just
He
a
hasn't
few
even
areas
asked
that,
one
we can
question
take a
about
walk,
Joon
talk
at
about behind the
all.
scenes about one particular thing.
Joon, what do you like to
Nothing there
eat?
was a big deal. Everything there I was expecting.
Oh, that's
and
awesome,
quite
card too.
frankly, since I knew this was coming, I was always planning to fess up to the WWE Champions account.
That's not true.
when
That
I
is a
was live
lie.
reacting to your documentary. I knew you were going to cover it so in depth that there was no way I was going to be able to lie about it and weasel my way out of it. You were
All
gonna
this
keep me
information
real,
already existed,
right?
Phil.
So that's why I did it during the documentary. What are your
No.
thoughts on that? That the whole arc basically ends with me
What do you
reacting
think
to
about
it.
the arc of me finally
I don't
confessing to
know,
be a
like,
lying
the
asshole?
thing is with that is, it was kind of like an open secret where everyone knew that you were
Yeah.
that account, right?
It's a
Pretty much
secret
everyone
known
knew
to
about it. It's
everyone.
like, oh yeah, like even I knew, like my personal belief was you were always like, down from the rafters. So for you to admit it, I'm like, okay, well, at least things can move forward a bit and people can focus on something else. I think it's I guess cool for the arc, if that was your question.
Right.
He didn't hear a word of that.
In a lot of ways, it was kind of almost cathartic for me to watch this thing because it allowed me to see all my problems and the things that I've done wrong.
And you
to
didn't
fess
work
up
on
and
any of it.
apologize
Pretty
to
cool,
people
huh?
and to let my audience know, this isn't who I want to be. This is crazy. How many
You
people
should
can
just
say they write
ask June to do
4-hour
what VTubers
documentaries
was this,
about
and how do
them
I get them to
on
give
the
me
internet
money?
that at any moment you
Yeah,
can
how do I
open
get
it up and
into
see all the things
VTubing,
you messed
June?
up in the last 16 to 20 years of your life, right? But it was I feel like the way you did it, because
What the hell are you
the way
drinking,
you do
June?
your
That looks really
documentaries it's not
nasty.
malicious, and that's a good thing, I feel, and I respect you for that. There's other documentarians out there, they're literally going for the jugular. They're trying to make you look like more of a villain for drama purposes, and I don't think you did that. And I respect you for that. And also, I'll say this:
Oh
I have
man.
an issue with documentarians who they'll do the doc, but then they want to create an endless feed of content, right? And I'm going to call someone out, and I don't know if you agree with this or not, and I'd like to have your opinion on it. So Turkey Tom did a documentary about me late last year, okay, and it was called 10 Years of Failure. And of course, I have issue with that title. Whatever, that's not the problem.
It is 10
The
years of
problem was
failure. It's
after it
more
came
than
out,
10 years of
he said he
failure.
wanted to interview
That's
me.
the
But come to
inaccuracy,
find
DSP.
out,
It's the
whole thing
time
was an
frame.
attempt for him to get me on the Lalcow podcast. And he even said publicly, oh, this is a way to milk Phil for content and to keep milking him and getting more out of him. That I'm not cool with,
What do you got, June?
What I mean, Phil, I don't know like where to start. Like, I feel like that title is accurate too.
Oh shit.
What
No,
was incorrect
end the
about
call,
Tom's
Phil.
video?
Oh, nothing. I'm not even saying there's anything wrong
Oh.
with this video at all.
That's
I'm
not
saying
true.
The fact
You-
that his intention was to
Phil,
try to
you're
get my
annoying me.
attention,
You're insulting
to
my
milk more
intelligence.
content,
I don't like
and to
that.
basically turn me into a source of irrelevance.
Please don't
That's what he was
insult what
basically
little
saying he was trying to
intelligence
do,
I
and that's what I
have.
wasn't cool with. Similar to side scrollers, where I had no issue with their original interview.
Yeah, he
It's the
definitely has an
attempts
issue
to
with the
get
content as
tons of money
well,
and
Banana
content out of
Jones.
someone after the fact, when that was never really part of the upfront agreement. That's where I have issue with people. And I don't think that wasn't your attempt here with this documentary at all.
Sorry, I didn't mean to yell.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think
He
it's
has
fine.
to
I
be
mean,
pistol with me with that
like,
one.
I don't know really where you're going with this because
Yeah,
I
exactly. You're
feel
just
you kind of do the
droning.
same. Like you keep the drama rolling, and that's fine. That's like I think smart business. I
Mhm.
really just don't do that because
Oh,
I'm not like
wait,
the
oops.
personality. But I think on Tom's side, that if I was Tom, I would do the same. But I think even with like the Craig stuff, right? You brought him back just to like insult him, and that is like drama too. You kept that kind of going the same way.
What?
If
I
that makes
didn't
sense.
insult him. In the call,
Craig,
Phil.
Craig? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
I was on the show. No, to be honest, I didn't think that interview was going to go that way at all.
I know,
really
Roach
didn't.
Bait.
Like I thought.
Yeah, he thought that he was
gonna
going to
I was gonna apologize
kiss
to
the
him for
ring.
lying on his show, and he was gonna apologize for the follow-up where he basically made a lot of money for my detractors, and we were gonna be cool. And that's not what happened. I mean, what happened?
He wasn't going to
right?
apologize for
I had
something
no
that wasn't wrong,
interest
Phil.
in insulting the guy or anything. I mean, he told me to go fuck myself in that interview when I was being cordial. I was
You
just
were not,
asking
Phil.
him questions, pressing him on some things I thought were unfair, and he's the one who escalated it first. Okay.
By attacking his character, he escalated it. And that's how DSP views it. When I attacked your character, you escalated it by responding. Okay, that's not how that sequence of events happened, DSP. You were not cordial. I wanted to pause here and address something. That DSP felt that it was wrong to milk further content. That Turkey Tom was being a negative asshole for saying that I've already milked him enough. However, what exactly are we looking at right now? We're looking at milking the content. We're looking at milking June. DSP's trying to milk June, and it's not even for sustenance. Now, it's still in a roundabout way of content for Phil, so it's even more like that. And the other thing is that he wants June to do a follow-up. You know he does. You know he does. He wants June to release a brief 30-minute epilogue that says, now DSP's doing great, all the detractors are on suicide watch, and actually he's felting the entire internet and being chill and positive. Isn't that still the same thing?
But in your case, like you said, you're
Yeah.
not that kind of person who's going to be trying to escalate. You're not going to continuously make that content. I mean, at this point, you're probably on to the next 5 projects, right?
Well, see, that's like the difference. I don't think like I don't see that as an issue to try to escalate. I think drama kind of keeps like the internet alive. I mean, you yourself are like getting more into like the drama sphere, which I think is good for your channel. And I also like.
Oh, I
don't know,
agree.
Phil,
It's a
I
very
just
good
don't
idea.
understand. You know what I mean?
I think you should pick a
kind of like
fight with
different here.
Yeah, no,
Ethan
I
Ralph.
agree with you, and that's fine.
You can take him,
And,
Phil. I
I
believe
don't
you can
think that
take him.
we're
Just
ever
move
going
real
to see eye
fast.
to eye on everything, right? But no, I just want to let you know I don't have any ill will towards you at all.
We've been over
Your
this, Phil.
documentary, I think it actually helped me to grow because I get to fess up the stuff that I had done.
And then you
And,
continued lying about
you
it.
know, Thank you for being fair, is what I want to say up front. Okay. Now, before we move on, because I'd like to ask.
So
you about,
Craig told him he was
all
sorry
kinds
for
of
not
stuff.
checking
Do
his
you have
email
anything
fast
you'd like
enough for him,
to
and
ask
for
me
Phil to
particularly about
ask
the
for him to
documentary or my
apologize
history
for
or
something he
anything
did
like
not
that
do.
before
That
we
was
move on
it.
to talk?
There's something else. DSP said that he was going to apologize. Do you guys really remember what DSP apologized for? I'm legitimately racking my brain right now, and I'm not thinking of anything DSP apologized for. Maybe surface level stuff, like I'm sorry I yelled about you guys, but no, he didn't apologize for shit. No, DSP. How you thought the interview was going to go was that you were going to press Craig, and Craig was going to buckle like a belt and kiss your toes. That's how you thought the interview was going to go. And when he stood his ground and refused to buckle, you flipped out and you escalated things. And then he had enough of it and said, "Go fuck yourself. How dare you attack my reputation?" And DSP sees that as a mask off moment. DSP, no, you just push someone to the point of hating you, which is what you do.
Oh, the topics.
I mean, the original plan
How's it
was
going,
for
the
me
one
to
who
like
waits?
interview you, and my main
Hope
thing
you're doing
for that
good.
was to get you like get the confession out for the WWE champions, but that has been fulfilled. So I feel like this is your podcast interview. You can lead it however you want. So just go ahead.
All right, cool. So there you go, guys. I give him a chance because people were saying, "Are you going to let him ask you questions?" Hey, I opened the floor, and he seems to be cool.
There we go.
All
We're
right.
done. Now I can just
Okay,
talk all over you.
So
Exactly,
here's the
Snood.
question for you: why did you become an internet documentarian?
They
Because I
push
actually
you
went
to a point of
pretty far
flipping
back on your
out,
channel,
and
and I
then
noticed that
they
originally you were
rationalize it
doing
as,
frame
"Oh, that's
stuff on
why
it,
I can look
and then
down
all of
on
a sudden
him."
you started doing the documentaries, and they took off. So what actually created that change in methodology?
DSP reminds me of, okay, there is an element of the internet. I'm kind of doing what I tell DSP not to do, where I'm telling you a weakness, but it's more of like an annoyance, and I scratch my head and I just leave the equation. You're not going to get me sticking around. Is when there's a discussion, and then you intentionally try and anger the other side, and then when that person does inevitably get frustrated, you say, "Oh, see, you can't even get your emotions in check. Why should anyone listen to you?" And it's so disingenuous. It's so dishonest. It's so scummy that you don't have to have a conversation. I'm just going to piss you off. And then once you're pissed off, I'm the winner. And DSP has that same mentality. That's how he looked at it. As soon as he got Craig pissed, he was the winner. I won. Won what? Being an asshole? Yeah, you did. DSP first prize.
content you wanted to put out?
So that was because I was making old school RuneScape content, some RuneScape 3 content.
Exactly, Neil.
And there was this content creator that was going
Bow
through
to
this,
the
like,
piggy.
entire drama, and I couldn't find out like what exactly was like going
Whenever
on
it
with him. I
reaches
was
that
like,
with
I
me,
love
I
his
just
content,
leave the
right?
conversation.
And
We're not
everyone
having a
was making, like,
conversation
these,
at that
like,
point.
videos like, oh, here's my opinion, here's this and that. I couldn't find anything like, I guess, definitive or like what his situation was. So I was like, you know what, let me tell a story because I was a fan. It should be easy. It was a 14-minute long video, I think. That blew up. I kept making RuneScape content. Then I was like, let me dip back into the space. So then I made one in Ice Poseidon. And I was like, okay, like I kind of enjoy making these kind of videos. They seem to be popular. I was like, yeah, that's kind of like how I got into where I am now.
Gotcha. And so now, I mean, you've abandoned the gameplay stuff. You're just solely a internet documentarian. I'm just curious. Is this actually your full-time occupation? Is this what you do for a living?
Dox
is it
yourself,
like
Joon.
A side thing? Because you get a lot of views, but it's
Dox
hard to
yourself right
gauge
now,
what
Joon.
kind of living
Where do you
you're
work?
doing
Can we
there.
hang
I'm
out?
just curious.
Are they hiring?
Yeah, this is like, I guess, my full-time job. This is what this is like my only line of work right now.
Gotcha.
Oh,
And so,
wow.
and
Dale
when
is going to
you
make
get
fun
into
of
a
him for
topic
that.
or a subject, is it just you that really is doing primarily the research, or do you have like people who you like pay to go out and do research?
Pay?
And you
What?
vet
Are you
them?
saying that
Like,
he's
what's your
not qualified to do
methodology?
it?
How do you attack a certain subject?
You
when
attacked
it's selecting a
duty for that.
documentary?
So people do have like researchers, people do have like writers, outliners. They have all these kind of people that work for them.
I hate the
Currently, I think
gotchas.
it might be cool in the future to get
Gotcha.
one, but that's like really hard to like find one, right? Because the writing is the most important part, I feel, and if you get a fact wrong, that really diminishes the video and your credibility.
Oh,
But
yeah.
currently, it's just me doing the research. I
Oh,
have
yeah.
editors
You
who,
got
like,
tons of facts
that's something I
wrong,
do have. I
according
have
to
editors,
DSP.
like you're talking about the I guess PS1 like models that were
Right.
used in the video. That was all them. Like I give them like instructions like include this video, make this part more tense. But I leave a lot of the creativity and how they present like items up to them.
He's not
Cool.
paying any attention.
So,
Hold on. I got to
you're doing
ban
most of
someone
the
real quick,
research, You're
June.
just handing that off to
I'm
editors.
doing it
or-
like I'm pretty much doing it all. Like they
Dude, that'd be
like, look at it and
badass,
just, like,
Redneck Ogre.
add additional like footage and stuff. But yeah, it's pretty much me.
Cool.
Oh man, now I'm
And
thinking
so
about that.
right now, like,
Hold on, I
how
gotta
are you
get
going
back to
about
Phil.
selecting your topics for a documentary? Like, for example, for me, you said you had wanted to do it for many, many years. You kind of
We
held
got
off.
Wings in his
Is it
Mustang.
based solely
Yeah.
on your audience's interest? Do you have like interests and you interject that? Like, I'm just curious, what would make you focus on a thing? Because some of your topics are like, okay, I get why he's doing this.
Dude,
Right now it's
just
hot.
stop
But then sometimes you do
reiterating
like
the
a person I
question.
like never
Just
heard
ask
of,
the
and I'm just
question.
curious why you would select things at certain times.
So I do a community like I asked
Hold
through the
on.
community poll
Got a
section
ban.
through like YouTube, right?
By the way, I don't
And people
moderate
give
too
me like a
much.
general idea of who they want to see, and then like if it's really split, I'll do a poll. If there's someone like people really, really are vocal about, I'll be
Yeah,
like, okay,
Neil, it's kind of
these
too
two
clean
people
for me.
won,
It's
so let me
freaking
just
me
like
out.
see what they're about. And,
You're
like,
telling me there's not a single Walmart
Gotcha.
bag on the floor?
Now,
I don't know about all
in
that.
regards to the documentaries you've already done. All right, this is actually a question a lot of people want me. I'm trying to bring up the community questions. I had them on my gaming PC, and now I've got you on there. So
I mean,
can't see
there's
them. I'm
not
trying to
even
bring
any
it up on my
power
laptop, but,
cables. I'm a little
one of the
confused.
questions people wanted me to ask you was, out of all the documentaries that you've made, okay, you've done a lot now.
Tell me I'm the
Is there one
prettiest.
particular documentary that you're like proud of that you think is overall so far the best? And then on the flip side of that, is there a documentary that maybe like, not to say that you don't think you did a good job, but do you think like, man, this didn't turn out well, or for whatever reason? And it could be the quality of the documentary, it could be drama that stirred up because of the documentary. So like, what was
Yeah, bring up
what's your favorite
LTG.
documentary
Come
you've ever done,
on.
and what's your least favorite?
I think the favorite might be like the game dude, even though it's like a bit more slow and like I guess boring. I think like putting the puzzle like pieces of the mystery of like
DSP's not paying
putting
any
it into a
attention.
timeline, right? Getting all these
Right.
different sources in there. I think that like that was really cool. Which the fun for me was in like the research and stuff. But I can
Yeah,
see, like,
whatever.
how
Yeah,
might be
gotcha.
less
Uh-huh.
interesting to someone like just like watching like a very slow build up.
Whatever,
To
man.
I guess
Yeah,
older
yeah,
viewers
yeah,
than
yeah.
being,
I
like,
get you.
a
Yeah.
homeless stalker,
I'm
right?
following you.
Yeah.
Following you. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I'm engaging with the conversation.
I think my least favorite it's probably like the mysterious Mr. Enter. I think I could approach that like I that's one that I can like definitely cut down. I just think it was like too long. I could have interspliced the interview throughout the video. It just feels like I could have approached it like way better, I
You
guess.
should do more low tier
That
God
was
ones.
one of your earlier ones.
What's your
correct?
favorite
With the Low Tier
documentary and
God.
why isn't it
wasn't
mine? Tell me
recent,
I'm the
right?
prettiest.
No, I think it was like 2022 around.
Okay, yeah, so at least a couple years ago. So that makes sense. You're getting better over time for sure. Like this DSP one, I think when it comes to the amount of how it was paced and the visuals and the things
Yeah,
they're doing in
DSP
there,
one's the
it's
best,
made me
obviously.
way more entertaining for sure. I think you're getting better over time at this.
Yeah, who are we
Now,
banning,
one
by
that
the
I
way?
know everyone wants me to ask you about. All right, the one that everyone is like the elephant in the room, the Low Tier God documentary. Okay, and
Oh, yeah.
what resulted from that? For people who don't know, Joon did a documentary on Low Tier God many years ago, and it
You
really
can
rubbed
have
Low Tier
him
God the wrong
explain it,
way.
Phil.
He lashed out at Joon. He basically used the YouTube copyright system against him. He weaponized it, which is absolutely unacceptable.
He doxed him
ridiculous.
and also threatened to have him raped to death.
I'm just curious, what are your thoughts about that
That's not a
documentary? Would you
joke.
have done it any differently today, knowing what you know now about that guy? And what was the repercussions of him doing that? Like I know you had to make like, a
Nothing.
video
He
about
had
it
no
and everything.
repercussions. Dale got away with
I
it.
wouldn't say it's a panic video. It was a video that like really covers the past 3 or 4 years of like the harassment, or I think it was 2. I can't remember the exact amount. But the video, I think I would have changed some things. I think there might have been like some personal stuff that like I wanted to get like
Oh, someone's got to get
an
banned.
overall picture of who this guy kind of was. But I don't know. I don't know what I really would have changed. Um, I don't know. Like so, I believe you also asked me about like his reaction, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I never would have thought someone would have done something like that.
You
I
don't know
take
Dale.
copyright strikes and stuff over the years for the dumbest reasons.
You
And to
don't
see
know
someone
Dale.
weaponize the system like that's to me like the ultimate underhanded thing to do.
Yeah, I mean it is, but I think he's like a genuine like evil like psychopath. He has like this
Wow.
community of people who really promote him and such, and I think he's an evil person. But I think he is also entertaining. So like I guess he has that value online. I'm pretty much just like distance myself. Like I'll probably never do another video on him again unless I
No!
go to someone because
Do a couple
if I do
more.
another video, it's gonna be clear. Like my bias would be too tangible, I guess, right? Because there is that feud.
Well, right, and
Oh,
that's the thing,
God,
K-Dog,
that's
on the
scary.
internet, you
Still
are
support-
unbiased. You're coming in. As
Well, thank you very much, Big Blast Sonic. I appreciate it. Thank you. Sorry that you're toxified, but if it helps you feel any better, LTG had this very elaborate fantasy about how he was going to send LTG Rocks to sexually violate Joon the King to death. I know that's kind of rough to tell a person who just subscribed. However, it's pretty graphic. It's extremely dark.
unbiased, person covering these people. And the fact that he lashed out maliciously with you, he abused
love
the system,
Battlefield
he
Earth.
doxed you, he did all this messed up stuff.
DSP
How
should
could you
come
even
on
cover
stream
it
dressed up
fairly?
as
I
Turtle.
agree with you there. Like if you were to do one, it would have to be like a drama video as opposed to an actual like objective covering of what he was doing. So I just, publicly I've already said about this guy. I've been talking about him recently too in my content. This guy's unhinged. The stuff he does doesn't even make any logical sense. He doesn't even play the game right. Like if you're gonna be a drama guy on YouTube, you got to go back and forth. You got to play ball. He doesn't even do
He
that.
doesn't want to play
And
ball
I
with
don't
you,
know. So
DSP. He has
anyway,
nothing to gain
that's just
from it.
crazy to me that he did that to you. And you know, I would just, you know, that's something I would never even think of because when we
No, you do different
about, like,
psychopathic
shitting on the
things,
false
DSP.
copyright
You do
strikes
different
that
evil.
against them is like the most below the belt hit you could do. And the thing is, I don't think he knew it wasn't gonna like permanently hurt you. So why he even did it doesn't even make sense to me because it just makes him look worse. But you know, feeding into what you just said, maybe his persona is he's a villain, and that's what he feeds off of. So actually, maybe he thinks it helped him to do something like that. I can't fathom, but I guess certain
DSP,
people
you and him are the
have
same person. What would
wiring
you
in their
do?
mind, you know, I can't think of what other reason.
No,
why
that's a
they would
different
do
one,
it.
Ramen.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it like. People are like just born different, I guess. You know what I mean? It's just that's the way the world is, man.
Yeah,
for
DSP
sure.
is born different.
All right.
It's crazy
All right,
as
what I'd like
shit.
to do, because I actually have the questions up now. I have my
Hey, there you
audience
go.
submit lots of questions for you regarding various different things. Some are specific about my documentary, others are more general. And I'd like to pull some of them up here and see. Oh, here we go. This is actually a really good one to start. So this person says,
let's
question
hear
for
it.
June. How much of an influence does your initial impression on a subject of a documentary have on how you approach researching them? In this case, with DSP, you know, did you have initial impressions? And did that
Yeah, my
change
initial
the way you
impression
went
is that
about
he's a
making the
stupid
documentary?
ass liar.
I like it's pretty much
Yeah, there you
impossible
go,
to not have,
sandwich.
like, initial
Yeah,
impressions
imagine that
just by, like, being
LTG
fun,
was
right? Like,
playing
what you read
wrestling.
and like what you're exposed to and like all that. And they didn't really change. I think people do
Gotcha,
go
bananas.
extra, and some people do believe everything that's being said about someone. But you know, like I think anyone could see through what might be true and what might not be.
I guess
And
that's how he
yeah,
knows
no,
it, though. Is
overall,
that really? I
it
don't
really
know.
did
Keep it that way.
stay consistent, I guess.
That was hardly an
Excellent.
answer,
Okay.
June. It's okay. June's kind of wanting to check out
Let's see,
already.
here's one, and this is interesting because I don't think you've ever.
Oh man,
done
we're
this,
almost done.
But this
Holy
question is,
shit!
if during the creation of a documentary you were given the opportunity to meet someone, for example, Phil, in an in-person interview, would you? This is assuming that.
Oh
Phil agreed
man,
to
this
it,
is
it
just a
wasn't
bunch of
something,
ass
etc.
kissing.
Do you believe that a first-hand account from Phil would have maybe contributed to the narrative? Now, in some extent, you did do this. You asked me a few questions directly on the documentary, but you've never actually done like an in-person interview.
I would love to do an
Ever think that
in-person
would
interview
add
with Phil,
something?
because then I could tell you
And
guys
yeah,
how he
like
smells.
that adds a tremendous amount. So what that does is it takes someone out of like their comfort zone, right? You can't run away really from an in-person interview. I mean, you
Okay,
can
so
walk away,
imagine a
but
horse
it
farm on
gives more
fire.
control
That's
to the
what
person,
DSP smells
recording,
like.
right? Like there's more to examine, right? Like, and that kind of like goes back to the Mike Klump thing. Do you think you'll like restart that, right? Will you go ever reach out to him again to like reinvigorate the project?
No, because
Yeah,
Cat's
you know, a
still
lot of people have
fat.
asked me that question, and at the time that Mike Klum was
No, my
interested
house is still
in doing this
dirty. No.
documentary about me, he had just come off doing the Boogie documentary, and we all saw that, and we knew that that was a certain kind of vibe where it was like, you know, look at this guy, he's miserable life, and all the things that he's going
DSP, the
through.
documentary
I
is
made it
all
very
about how
clear.
you're
I said, if we
miserable
do this
too.
documentary, I don't want it to be that vibe. It has to be a completely different kind of a
Yeah, I
vibe.
want it to be
That's not me.
dishonest.
Like, I'm not a woe is me guy. I don't want. It's not a pity party documentary.
You
He was
are
totally on board
such
for that,
a
100%. But as we started to get into it,
all Phil does is sell himself as a pity party. That all these things that happen to me are unfair, horrible things, and you should donate to me because I'm the little guy who had bad things happen to him. I lost my sponsorships. I lost my place at Twitch. I lost so much. I lost my job. Feel bad for me. Feel bad for me. You know, I've got a bad back. All this shit. All that shit is DSP pity party. You know, he does these segments where I didn't have a good stream in the morning, so give me more money in the evening stream to balance things out. If there's anything that really defines DSP's approach to outreach, is pity. He doesn't get you hyped. He doesn't get you excited for content. He doesn't sell you on the merits of the content. He doesn't sell you on the interactivity. He sells you on pity. That is 100% DSP's product. It's so annoying.
I just realized it was going to be such a tremendous.
You can't
amount of
just
time,
say
effort,
something's a
and
thing,
investment
DSP, and it
on my
actually
behalf.
works out
Not
that way.
only was I going to have to be, you know, trying to maintain my work
He's such
schedule
a
as it is,
fake.
but also taking all this time out to film.
These two faces
you know,
shit.
taking time out
Neither
to film
face
with
is
my
good. I
clients
don't
and
like
stuff.
either of them.
And at that point, I didn't really feel like it was going to benefit me enough, or if even if it did, it was too much of a risk to invest that much. Now, like if I were to do a documentary now, I feel like it would be different because now you've done this doc on me. I've fessed up to the biggest stupid thing, the WWE champions.
You didn't fess
And
up to it, though. You're still
now,
lying
even
about
though
it.
obviously it would be addressed in a documentary like that, I almost feel like it would be freed up to do better stuff or different
Exactly,
topics or
Roman
different
Brumman.
things. Like one of the things that Mike really wanted to do, he wanted to do a day in the life of DSP where you just follow me around. You
That
know,
would be
how I go to
badass.
work,
We
follow
could
me to
watch
the grocery
DSP
store, you see,
waddle
you know,
down the
grab stuff off
hallway.
the shelf. And says that's going to humanize you. It's going to show you in a different light. No one ever sees you. They just see you as this guy ranting at a camera or whatever. And it would be great to see that. Now I feel like that kind of content would be taken.
I have a Theo theory. that the reason why that didn't happen and the reason why the entire thing got canceled, it's a really dumb theory, is that I think that he and Kat went completely balls out. And by that, I mean Kat did it. DSP didn't do anything. Cleaning up the kitchen and the living room area and not even touching the upstairs. They moved all of their shit upstairs. And when they were talking to Mike Klum, when he met them at the Snort Fort, he brought up, yeah, it'd be kind of cool to do a day in the life of, go around your house. And DSP did the math and realized there was no way he was going to be able to clean the house in any sort of way. So because he's such a disgusting hoarder, that's why the interview got canceled. That's why the video got canceled. Because there's no way this dude was going to clean shit. That's not going to happen. Maybe a small area that you've segregated off.
Taken in a better context because people
How every day starts for me. And it's just, it cuts to Jasper beating the absolute shit out of him in bed. Like Bam Margera.
Seeing that personal side, have in-person interview or behind the scenes.
Exactly, Soldier.
Something, and maybe long term I would consider it. The thing that's really turning me off from doing anything with Mike right now is he said he's going to do something with EDP, or at least he was. It's weird because I don't think there's been an update on this documentary he's doing on EDP in a very long time.
Why would you be so concerned, DSP?
Like, I definitely don't want to be like the guy wedged between Boogie and EDP. If he did a documentary on someone else and it wasn't just such heavy negative topics, then I would probably consider it. But
DSP, you wouldn't be a negative topic at all. In fact, you would shine because you had two negative things next to you, right?
Casino, and I've
never mind.
A really positive interview with Keemstar. I don't really want to be.
I imagine Phil smells like a mixture of spoiled food, kitty litter, alcohol, and unwashed meat.
Maybe in the future. I think in the future it might be something to re-examine as a different kind of idea. So, what do you think about that? Do you think I should do it?
I think it'd be cool. I think
lost track of what you were saying.
These kind of videos, and especially like Mike Klum, I feel that he kind of lets the documentary speak for itself. He lets people commenting on it, like that. That's like a real fancy documentary, right? And I think
DSP is not listening. You can see DSP never pays attention.
Is until you really
yeah. How about that, Darren Dale?
Sift through it to get like kind of like a theme. I don't think there is going to be like any, I guess, shoehorning of like any direction. It just speaks for itself. And if you feel like confident in your comeback and whatever, I think it could be a good idea to really reach out to him. I don't know if he's still up for it, but it wouldn't hurt, right?
Sure. Okay, cool. A few more questions.
Not a single bit of that entered the brain.
I apologize. The technical issues really screwed everything up. About how much more time?
DSP gatekeeps his own occipital
lobe. 3 more hours. I have a lot of time.
Wow. Well, it won't be that long.
Yeah, this is like my dedicated work time, so it's like this is work-ish. So I have a lot of time.
Oh, this is work.
I was thinking maybe like another 20 minutes.
Listening to Phil is work.
Were quite good, and to get just pick your brain here a little, if that's okay with you.
Oh yeah.
Phil Dance is easy to get manipulated. Phil demands.
All right, here's one. So I would like you to ask him how much he personally is interested in the personal drama or antics of the subjects once his videos drops. For example, does he keep tabs on people? Or does he just kind of lose interest after one of these documentaries goes up? I mean, that's a good question because like, are you
Soldier, it's very disrespectful.
And you don't really care anymore.
Yeah, I definitely. And that, maybe with a few like.
Hey! We had another intersection. I get a chance to talk about DSP and I's parallel lives. When I'm on Going Green or I have a guest, I know I talk too much. I know I do. Why I ask people, please shut me down. It's like with Joon. If I was talking with Joon, I'd be like, Joon, you got to shut me down. I will talk too much. And that's why I can't be offended by it. Joon, tell him to shut up.
On Twitter, like, you know what I mean? I really don't go out of my way to keep tabs or anyone because I really do lose like interest. I try to like be interested in
lose interest, you say? Phil seems to be doing that too.
Inkling to like keep looking or at someone without like a reason or like for research for a video.
I love that DSP's profile picture is his Yoshi hat picture.
I'm not surprised. I'm the same way.
Glorious.
Like, if I do a lot of work on a certain subject. If I play a lot of a certain game, I'll just get tired of it. I'm not gonna want to go right back to it again and again. Even if there's interest, like I tend to want to diversify what I'm doing. I get.
Yeah, you like to rage quit shit. That's why you never finish Armored Core 6.
Now this question, I'm gonna warn you. This person maybe spinning it in a certain way, and just I'm not saying I agree with what this person is saying.
Okay, yeah, it says how's the gout.
Okay, for Joon, why were there parts in the documentary where you would quite rightly introduce Phil's arguments with skepticism? For example, Phil claims, or this is supposedly because DSP
never provides proof.
You would sometimes speak in absolutes. For example, based on John and Howard's words, you would say Phil was bold-faced lying. I'm curious why you didn't introduce their comments with skepticism also. Something like, well, if we were to take them at their word, this would be
there you go. That's awesome,
I completely agree that you need to be skeptical with hearsay, but you should be skeptical with everyone's hearsay, not just Phil's, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, that like lends more to credibility. And
oops. Oh shit.
Have such a lengthy history of lying, right? It's hard to really pin that
I
down.
agree. Listen, and I'm not taking offense. I agree with you, man. I do.
But no, hold
yeah,
on a
no,
second,
that's
DSP. I'm going to count this as a new clone because people have brought this up with Phil so many times throughout the years that the reason why DSP is people intrinsically don't believe him is because DSP has put every effort into lying as much as possible. Now you have Joon here saying the exact same thing, and DSP, oh, I agree. No, Phil, you should ban him. You should lean in, tell him to go fuck himself, and ban him, just as you've done with everyone else, DSP. That's not a rare thing that happens. People have brought it up multiple times, and you always give them the lean. Why is Joon getting a pass?
answering that question. So that's why I would present you as such a way, because I mean, through their words, they're the more credible people, and I have no reason to really distrust what they're saying as opposed to you, right? I believe I read how was it on? I saw your entire reaction, and you also admitted that you did not contact the other part of Project 7, right? So it was a lie. I did find that, and it was in fact a lie.
Yeah, I think we were talking about respect the pact and the
Yeah.
guys.
Because the whole thing, to give context, it was
DSP
you're
is
like, hey, reach out to them for like
altars. I swear, the one altar is really tough and can fight anyone. The other altar cowers and constantly being picked on. It would be weird if DSP secretly had multiple personality disorder.
It's like, hey, so why'd you deny the money? It's like, well, money. Phil never told us, so it was also like it was just a lie, I guess.
It was. You're right. It was basically a situation where I was told something up front, and I had absolutely no idea that those guys would have wanted money. And if they actually did want the money, I would have given it to them.
No, see, we're further lying.
100%. I should have reached out to them. I should have extended the, however you say, the olive branch or whatever. Said, listen.
You just talk to them, stupid. You don't have to use all these metaphors.
For me, I took them at their original word.
We got new lore, cool.
When John asked me, hey, did you offer them money? And I said, well, they don't want money. That was based on previous discussion months and months prior. That was not based on any current information. So you're right. You caught me out on stuff like this in the documentary, and rightfully so. That's the kind of stuff that I need to get better at. And I
need to get better at my lying.
Moving forward, if I ever do anything like Project 7 or anything like that ever again, even if it's with like close personal friends, I'm working.
That's why he just doesn't pay anyone ever anymore.
There's no misconceptions about who wants what out of it. We all get what we want out of it, and that way no one comes out at the end as being, feeling like they were misused or mistreated or not offered a fair shake. So, okay, fair enough. And I think that was a good answer.
Poor Joon.
Here's a question.
Well, it is his work time. I guess he's getting paid for this.
For my documentary, okay? And one thumbnail showed a whole bunch of people, like this big cast of characters who I had involved with over the years. The other thumbnail was like a whole bunch of my like face shots.
Yeah, it was the clone one.
Of me,
DSP clones.
And so this person is asking, why did you change the thumbnail to the documentary, and why is there a bald DSP on one of them?
So why did they change it? I found the first one to be too noisy, right? It's too many people, and I thought like it would get like less traction.
Yeah, you should do that.
If people really like want it that bad, I could just like bring it back. You can change a thumbnail actively. But the second one, you bald, that was like, so I have a thumbnail guy, and he just included that. I found it like kind of funny, so I was like, let's do it. Why not? Why not?
But hold on a second. DSP should lean him right now. He should lean in and yell at him, because Secret Limited did the exact same thing. He did the video where it covered the escort saga, and it had Cat. And then the information was corrected, and so he put a horse over it. I'm sure it was just because it was funny. And DSP lost his shit about it. So that's not allowed in the Kingdom of Phil. You can't post images that are incorrect just because you find them funny. DSP, you need to lean in on Joon and ban him.
I'm not a bald DSP.
Yeah, and it can be spun different. I heard people with conspiracies. Oh, that's because he's a big baby. Look at him, he's crying, or he's a villain. He's Lex Luthor or something.
That's stupid, Phil. Whoever said that was a liar and stupid.
They're always looking more into like they like to have fun with it. So it's
as a spinoff.
Who cares if it's not an honest answer?
Not the person. Have you tried the new YouTube thumbnail test system where you can put up multiple thumbnails and then YouTube will swap between them randomly and then it tells you which is the better one? Because I think that might actually.
Yeah, I don't do that. That sounds
to maybe catch more attention to figure out of a series of thumbnails what would work better.
I did. So for the rich one, there were 3 different ones.
Big ups, Vega.
The difference was like 0.5%.
You have wrong too many people to have them in the thumbnail. Yeah,
like a lot of the traction too.
You would have an actual busy thumbnail. It'd be like, where's Waldo?
Media on a video, and it's like, oh, I know who this is. I'll click on that video. That kind of thing, right?
Right. I too have tried it, and it was exactly the same as yours. Like almost no difference between the thumbnails. So I'm
all right, fantastic. Moving on.
It's just the title as opposed to the thumbnail. Okay, here's another one. For Joon. So a lot of Phil's early rough play style was due to him drinking.
Yep.
And it's pretty funny.
Yeah, it is. It's funny as hell.
He begged for money. He blamed everything but himself. He's tried to correct those things.
No, he hasn't.
YouTubers and streamers spend their money on supercars, drugs, gambling, on levels that would put Phil to shame. The big lesson for Phil to work on is honesty.
That's not gonna work. That's not gonna work.
Regaining some level of privacy.
That's not gonna
to
work.
Forget those lessons over time. Do you think that Phil deserves the amount of A-logging that he still gets?
Oh my
Do you
god.
think that he still deserves to be on the lolcow list? The detractors
Yes,
become worse
forever.
at this point?
So this is all just like, I guess, my opinion. I've never been a fan of, like, I guess, the A-logging, you know, like really going out of your way to do something like crazy or whatever. But you know, that's I guess it does bring up some entertainment. I don't know, right? I wouldn't do it. I'm not a fan of it. But
Nice
the lolcow list,
non-committal
I think,
answer.
yeah, like I guess what makes a lolcow is the consistency and the failure. And I can see like that you are still there. I think also
Yeah.
you're always somehow going to like be on the platform one way or another, but you are, I think, cemented there. On the
Yeah,
level.
you are forever a
I
lolcow,
agree
man.
with you because the thing is, I think people hear the word lolcow.
Yeah, you should
and
you should ban this
is it a
guy.
negative association? Of course it is, right? But sadly,
going,
it's not like
Casper?
something you can control. I mean, I wish I wasn't one, but there's always going to be these people stalking me. There's always going to be these people calling me out and bringing me up to try to elicit a reaction. And that's a very
No, dude, that's a very self-serving way to look at things, DSP. There is actually ways to not be a lolcow, but usually the person who was a lolcow has cemented themselves so deeply into it and have it such a core part of their personality that it's never going to change. Ever. Even lolcows who have kind of evened out over the years. For example, weirdly enough, Chris Chan almost seems kind of normal. If you watch any of his streams, it's just this weird autistic dude making weird voices as he plays Minecraft. Compared to a lot of the internet who, you know, might be of a similar persuasion, that doesn't seem that outrageous. But there's still the elements there that he is always going to be a lolcow because his personality hasn't changed. It's become a little bit more marketable or palatable or comparable to things that are the norm. Likewise with Phil. I think that if tomorrow Phil stopped screaming at chat, if he stopped banning people in droves, if he stopped begging for money, he would still be intrinsically Phil because a lot of things that are about Phil are just so deeply ingrained in his personality. For example, he's still going to be playing games badly and yelling at them. He's still going to be blaming everyone but himself for why he couldn't beat this boss. So no, DSP, it is possible to change yourself, but you're always going to have a little bit of the stink on you.
very definition.
But
of
you
lolcow,
shouldn't use
right?
that as an excuse
You
to
do
make
something
no
stupid, you get
changes
that reaction,
whatsoever.
and then you laugh at it. So even though I feel like perhaps there's a
Listen, I got to
turnaround
leave work
now
2.5
some
hours.
extent,
Oh, cool.
I don't think I'm ever going to get rid of that
Oh.
stigma personally.
I'm sorry to hear you're
how
still
on
sick.
earth with this crazy community of people who've been after me, right, for so long, just forget about me overnight? That's not going to happen. So to some extent, I don't think I'm ever going to shake that.
No, because you're
Yeah,
still
I
an
mean,
asshole.
like you just have such a history, right?
Right.
To shake that would be like to shake all that, and like people. I just thought, I don't know how you do it. Frankly, if you became a different person overnight, it just even then, like, I don't know. I don't know. It's just kind of like stuck there, I guess.
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
forever there, Phil.
It's tough. You know, people tell me, well, ask me, how do you keep doing it after 16 years? When every day you know you're going to go on the internet and someone's going to be.
Yeah, that's
whooping your
true
ass
as well,
about
L
stuff.
Sandwich.
It's like, listen,
And
you know what it
DSP
is,
has
honestly,
all
you-
kinds of skeletons
I
there.
just get immune to it. I've been doing it so long. It's kind of like you get desensitized. Like,
Oh
I know
yeah,
people who are talking
DSP's
about me every day,
desensitized.
no
That's
matter
why he
what I do.
brings it up
So why
every
do I even care
stream.
anymore, right? And I used to react completely differently. As you saw in the own documentary, I would get so angry about what everyone said and rage against it. And that just
When
fuels
was
more
that
of it today.
spoon?
It's just like it's just
The
another
spoon
day.
rant,
You
DSP?
know,
When
my
was that? Was that
detractors,
a
I'll
million
bleach
years
them
ago?
out. I'll expose them on my stream. I'll have a good laugh about it instead of getting so butthurt about it.
Can you audit
Yeah,
June's
like, I guess
background? I'm waiting for one of the
desensitization, I
walls
guess,
to
is what you
fall
call it, right?
over.
Just like
Yeah.
you're exposed to it so much, it's like whatever kind of deal.
Exactly. Here's an interesting one. So, I mean, you've done now a lot of.
I guess you know what? I'm gonna do something along that line, Redbird. I'm gonna do an LTG audit of June's background because this is not the same background he had when he was discussing LTG being a psychopath. You can tell this dude's broke. You can tell that he has zero money, and he also has zero bitches. And he doesn't have a Lamborghini parked here, so already you got a problem. There's not a team of hoes assembled, you know, lined up, ready to serve in battle. He has a dumbass red square on his wall that accomplishes nothing, and he's got this bummy ass Balrog cabinet that he probably picked up at a flea market. And his shirt, this is not Versace, so this guy's broke. And this microphone, I'm just gonna assume it's cheap. And he's got a poster framed. Who would frame a poster? What kind of loser would do that? Probably some sort of incel beta cuck. So there you go. That's the best I got. And also his carpet, that's not premium shag rug. So Yeah, this guy's broke as hell.
documentaries. Based on the stuff you've
Debunked.
seen, what is your opinion
Dale
on what
style.
would be considered like a success and a failure in the online space?
A success. As in like a creator, or like what do you mean?
That's a good question.
Yeah, the
I don't know.
$10
Like,
haircut too.
I guess what I would say is you've covered so many people.
He's not
Do
even
you
wearing
feel like some of
concealer.
these
Come
people
on.
are successes? Do you feel like they're all failures because of the things that you've covered in the docs? You know what I mean? Like, what's your criteria of judging if someone's, I guess, winning at life or if they're failing?
Tell me I'm winning,
Oh,
basically.
well, I mean, like that just goes into like your own personal beliefs and my personal beliefs, and I think that is like a bit of control. So, if like just going off my personal stuff, I think Jake Paul is an example of a success, right? I think he does what he wants. He has a lot of money. I'm sure like he's close to his family.
So you
People
have
may
to
not
define
like
your
him,
own
but I
success.
don't think it
Well,
bothers him
DSP's
too
already
much because,
successful
then
then.
again, he
Cool.
is in control and he's like free, right? I think like the reverse would be someone
He does look
who is stuck,
very
right?
astoundingly
Who
average, Irie.
cannot really do much outside of the
I
content
will
creation.
say this, of LTG's rants against this guy, the only one that I said, okay, maybe I could kind of see it, is that he did say that this guy looks so basically normal that you probably ran into him at Walmart and not noticed. Which, to be fair, yeah, kinda, but not everyone needs to look super distinct.
I don't know. There's definitely
Where's
a lot.
June's
There's definitely a lot.
RGB?
Do you
Exactly, he's
think
a
I'm
complete
stuck?
bum.
I think
Yeah.
you like it there. You like being stuck. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, I
Oh,
love what I do. I absolutely love. This is the best job I ever had. Even with all the shit that I go through every day, dude,
yeah, it's
this
the
is the
best
best
job
job I've
because you
ever
can
had.
wake
I'm
up
my
on the
own boss.
kitchen
I make
floor
my
at
own
11 in
schedule.
the morning.
I love video games. I love hanging out with people. So even though
You love
you can say
banning
I'm
people
stuck,
and you
stuck in a
hate
good
playing
place.
games.
It's not like I'm stuck and I hate what I do and I'm miserable doing it.
Yeah,
Like I've
that's
been
not
telling
true,
people,
DSP.
and a lot of people don't believe me. My life today is so much better than it used to be. Like I have a loving
Yeah,
wife, a great
because you don't have to
family,
leave the
and
house,
a personal
Phil.
life behind the scenes. I love my job. So why wouldn't I not let this shit get to me.
Are
I'm
you
not. I have
switching
so
a
many things to be
restream when he
positive
goes
and happy
live?
about. I'm not gonna let all
I
that
don't know. I
toxic shit
really
get to
don't
me.
want to
But I think
watch
what happens is
that.
a lot of people look at other creators.
Is he
and
playing
say,
something
"That guy
else
looks like he's
besides
stuck
Marvel
because
vs.
he doesn't
Capcom?
want to turn on that camera today, but he knows this is the only way he can make a buck." So they see that and they do those levels of
Yeah, he does have a
comparison.
nice
And
voice. I do like
I
his
guess
voice.
with the people you've covered, some people would argue some of those people are stuck and they're
Oh
miserable.
shit,
and
you
others
got me,
aren't. And I
Trebek.
think that's what this person was kind of getting at. Like, do you think that anyone like you said, that's a great example. Jake Paul, he can do whatever he wants, right? He's filthy rich. He's
No,
immune to anything.
DSP does
You can
not
say the
love
guy's
his
the biggest
job and he
scumbag on
does
the
not
planet.
love
He
hanging out with
cares.
people
He
and he
just
does
rolls up
not
for another
love
$1
playing
million in
games.
bed. So it's
This
not a big
at
deal.
no,
But
I can't think of a time except for when he was playing WWE Champions where I could almost sense that DSP was enjoying what he was doing. Every single time this guy is playing games, it always comes off as an obligation. I am forced to play this Wukong game. I am forced to play Stardew Valley. Even though he's talking and interacting and whatnot, you never shake the feeling that DSP would rather be anywhere but there. So, no, DSP.
these other people who get endlessly stuck in this cycle of I
He
gotta
might
get on
rage
camera
quit
today, I gotta
MVC
make
if he
another
can't
buck.
get online
I
matches.
think
I hope
people look
so.
at that and be like, well, that's a failure. I think I'm somewhere in the middle, honestly.
No, I
I'm
think you're a failure,
success,
Phil.
but I do think I see myself as someone. At least I'm happy with what I do. I'm happy with
Dude,
being
you are a
stuck,
miserable failure.
yeah, I mean, like to that, like that's all personal, right? Like that's all into personal belief. But one of the other things is like you said, you're like desensitized to it. So like, how can you really like reflect to a more normal life where you can go out and not have the fear of someone recording you, or like have friends that don't know about your history? There's a lot of things that like I guess you're more like you said, like desensitized to, right? Like I think you don't know like or weren't at least recently exposed to those like facets of life, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
What are you
dude,
saying?
I sat here making content on my stream, not interacting with anyone outside of my personal family, my wife and everything. Literally, the stream that was it. And now that I've had opportunity to reach out, I've been on Kino Casino a couple times. Those guys have been awesome to me. We did the react to your Rich from Review Tech USA documentary together. I've had Keemstar.
I think that comment just bounced off Phil's head because what Joon was trying very politely to say was that you are an antisocial loser. You are a social outcast who, through his own actions, has subjected himself to a really bizarre experiment in self-isolation. I feel that DSP does demonstrate a lot of characteristics that happens when people are in isolation for a long time. They tend to hallucinate, well, maybe not hallucinate, but they tend to fabricate realities. Let's go with something like Wilson from Castaway. You do this because your brain more or less needs that. You need to do that. You need to be able to have some sort of interaction with the universe. However, DSP doesn't have interaction with the universe. So he creates his interaction with the universe. He creates this interaction where he is this powerful champion crusading against the evils of the internet. And he is making chill, positive, fun content. And no, none of that is true, Phil. None of that is true. You live in a dream world. And DSP is basically saying, well, I'm kind of defeating that now because I'm talking to people now. You're talking to enablers, DSP. You're talking to people who do not actually have your best interests in mind. It's a weird irony that's happening here that DSP is basically being manipulated by the very people he always accused us of being. These Kino dudes care nothing for Phil. They see him as a means of content and a means of hilarity. Keem cares nothing for Phil. But DSP is convinced that he's won these people over and that now he's socializing properly. How did that go with Craig? Craig was a very clear test case of DSP's new social skills, and he failed. He failed terribly. He just attacked Craig until Craig lost his temper, and rightly so, and snapped back at Phil. And Phil sees it as him being so victorious. No, DSP's just had his mental illness affirmed. He hasn't worked on anything. Anyway.
On the show. I got you on the
That's
show.
why I
We got all
enjoyed
this
this
stuff going
interview. It's
on.
just low-key
It's a
jab
breath of
after
fresh
low-key
air. It
jab.
feels
Yeah,
like
because
now things are
you
more
can tell he's
positive,
being
and
very
that's a great
polite
thing.
about
I'm
it.
being stuck, but now I'm doing better things. I'm being more social. That's what
Phil
it's all
would ban
about.
Wilson
People
off the
didn't wanna
island.
touch me
Yeah,
on
and then
Tech for the
complained that there was
longest
no one
time,
there at the
but
stream.
now that's starting to turn, and I'm appreciative. I'm so appreciative you came on today, man, because I get it. It's the drama sphere, dude, and a lot of people. Oh, Phil, I don't want to talk about that guy. I don't want to have any association with him. But it seems like now it is turning for the better, and that's a great thing.
Oh no, yeah, no, for sure it is.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
to that too, it's there's definitely a difference between
And
like online.
I think that Joon also represents a different kind of character in this story because I think that Joon doesn't really fully understand the depths of DSP's madness. Because I think that Joon is coming from this from a perspective of DSP is just a flawed human in the sense that he makes mistakes, which is DSP's narrative. No, DSP is a flawed human in the fact that his brain is Swiss cheese. He is a very mentally detached human being who does a pretty good job of masking it to normies until you're around them long enough, which happened with Craig. I feel like Craig was also under this impression. And then he realized very quickly, no, he's just a piece of shit. Adam was very quick with realizing it. And I think that Joon represents the normie outsider. I'm trying not to really shit on him, but he does kind of represent it in a way where you see Phil, but you haven't been around for it. It's different to do research and being around for it. Because when you're around for it and you watch stream after stream after stream of Phil, you really do get an understanding of how his brain works. And Joon, I don't think has that just because he has the history. And so when Joon's saying these things, we're like, oh yeah, I think you can turn around. I think you're doing all right. I think that's different from how Keem and Kino are doing it. I think he's saying this because he doesn't understand the equation completely. Keem and Kino are saying it because they want to manipulate Phil. And it's kind of a tragedy that he is accidentally reaffirming DSP's insanity.
Interaction with creators and like meeting them in person without like.
Sorry, that was
viewers and
long-winded
such,
as hell.
right?
Right.
And to me, I
Some things
I
now,
know that's
heck, one
something
of
you
my
don't have
managers
too
told
much,
me
and
I
I
was
think
right,
what
not
appreciate
like
more
I
like
got
you got like
called in
friends
by the
outside, like
people
the darks, like
oh,
people who know you not as dark side Phil, but as like Phil.
I feel like I'm
Burnett,
missing
right?
context.
Like Philip, right? I think that is such an enrichment. You know what I mean? Like that just helps you as a person too, right?
You're right. Like one of the things you covered in the
Little
documentary
Smeagol
was
hands
my
down.
Street
Yeah,
Fighter days, and because
100%.
online I was the most braggadocious, big mouth, e-thug idiot, but offline everyone was cool with me who met me because I was
That's
like
not
that. I
true.
was like
There
a
were plenty of
normal dude.
people
I
who
was
did
cool. I
not
was
like
chill.
you,
Everyone wanted
Phil.
to hang out with me because they knew it was like a chill time. And you're right. Having
Down
those
syndrome,
in-person
Phil.
relationships, friendships, interactions is very meaningful, especially when it's outside of the public eye, outside of
Joon
the
is a very good
normalized
everyman.
that
He
have
is.
an existence outside
Because
of
Joon
online
represents
persona. That's why the last
naive
few
hope.
years, since I met my wife, we're married. Our private life is private. Like I barely tell anyone about the stuff that we do
No, I
because it's no
apologize.
one's
I'm sorry,
business.
Roach
I like
mate.
having that private
I'm
side.
sorry, I
It
can't
definitely adds to
check my email better.
your overall enjoyment of life. I would say, and your sanity too, to have something that's not public and everyone's always talking about.
Yeah, I mean, like at the end of the day, like you just want to be a person. You know what I mean? Like, and I get that aspect.
Yeah, DSP doesn't want to just be
Okay,
a person.
couple
He
more
wants to be
questions,
revered.
and then we'll probably wrap it up. So now I think the reason this person asked this question, this is the direct follow up to a question that I asked Craig.
Missing
last
context.
week
Irene,
when
never
we did my
talked about my.
interview with
Oh,
him.
okay.
I
I'm
asked
sorry.
Craig, when you were preparing for your interview with me, who did you talk to? Did you only talk to my detractors, or did you also talk to fans and positive
He
people?
said he
This
talked to
person
the
is
fans,
asking
Phil.
to
You watched the
when you were
documentary.
researching DSP, did you interview an equal number of both critics and fans? Like, what was your
That's not
methodology?
possible.
My methodology was to like, I guess.
Well,
how
I
I'm
guess
approaching
it
videos
is
currently,
technically possible to do that, to interview an equal amount of people. Because what, he interviewed 2 fans, so he has to interview 2 detractors? Well, you better hope you get the 2 historian ones. Don't interview me. I'm just going to talk about how DSP is a weird clone.
is there's a lot of people that like dislike you, and I feel like some of them are kind of like crazy. They're insane.
Who?
And a lot of them have like genuine, like the
Ooh.
other like section do have like genuine reasons to dislike you.
Who's
because they
crazy?
Directly slight them
Me?
one way or
I'm sorry
another.
about that.
And the insane ones, they're very few. They don't exist in large numbers, but they're very loud. And the people who have like they get mixed in, right? So the people who have like general like criticisms of like you directly, you know, doing something not favorable to them. I try to reach out.
It's kind of weird that
You have
he's.
money,
Oh,
you
God.
scam people. You gonna spend it on burgers?
Thank you very much, Void. I appreciate it. This next rant is sponsored by Void. It's kind of weird that DSP is not calling him out on this because, again, this comes from not being around DSP enough. He's not in the shit. Is that DSP does not see this distinction. If you have any negative thing to say about him, you're a detractor. And not just any detractor, but you're crazy. For example, Snorlax King, he did a chargeback. He was just as bad as Review Tech USA because he's a detractor now. Same thing with Arkham Edits. Arkham Edits had the audacity to ask for money. That made him evil. So this, again, Joon's kind of naive here because he doesn't understand how DSP works. There's no distinction between us. We are all super evil. If you think that DSP chews into his microphone, you're evil. If you think that DSP shouldn't be using save scumming, you're evil. Thank you very much, Void. I appreciate it.
Reach to a general audience like better. Like if I'm reviewing someone who just like hates you and like wants to kill you.
Well, you do have
I don't
duration.
think that's
Yeah,
gonna
it's
reach a general
kind of like
audience,
Dark
but
Side
if I
Phil.
reach out to someone that like
It's just
let's say
a
the PC thing, I think that's
it's a
bit more
nickname,
casual and
right?
such. But as for the question, I reached out to as many fans as I could.
Yeah,
Felt like a
reach
lot
out
of
to
them
Derek.
were like afraid and wanted to be anonymous because they do
Right.
get some harassment and such. But I think it was like 4 quote unquote detractors and people, like any moniker you want to call them, and about 3 or 2 fans that I spoke to, like through interview and included in the video.
Right.
Hey, you should have talked to me.
my
I'm a huge
fans have
fan.
been through the ringer just like me. Just because they like me or because
No,
they
it's
watch me
because they're
or my
weirdos,
stream.
DSP.
They've been harassed. They've been doxxed. They've had phone calls to their work, to their schools, to their family. It's pretty
Yeah,
ridiculous.
exactly,
And
Soldier. For having the
fact that it's
audacity to
gone
say that I was being a little silly,
ruin me. And the
evil.
funny part is, how does that ruin me? Like, I don't even know that that's going on unless they come to me after the fact. So I'm not shocked to hear that my
His
fans
fan
are
called him
actually
autistic. That was pretty funny.
speaking up. Like, they don't want to put themselves into the line of fire and the eye of these people in any capacity. And same thing that I said to Craig last week. Like, of course, Craig, no one stepped up to say that they wanted to talk about
And
me positively
furthermore,
because
this is also why it is that on some level, all of these interviews or videos that are made about Phil that are from outside of the Detractiverse will never fully get it. And that's because they don't have that level of in-depth experience with Phil. For example, me just bringing up right now that DSP actually doesn't see the distinction between different people who dislike him. He assumes they're all one collective hive mind. Well, because he doesn't know that, because Joon doesn't understand this concept with Phil, naturally a detractor would have to reach out to him.
money, you scam people. You're going to spend it on burgers.
Thoughtful face, crazy, loud minority. Chill Murray and an 1337.
Well, I mean, I guess I like their energy. Jill Murray is just going nuts on his stream, and Ann's pretty fun too. But yeah, he should have he should condemn those 2 toxic individuals. Thank you very much, Sonic. I appreciate it. But see, then what's necessary is that a detractor will have to reach out to Joon and say, Joon, you basically got hoodwinked. Here's what's the problem with DSP's response. And for real, that would go on forever because you would have so many updates you would have to give Joon or any person who's outside the Detractiverse. that it would be exhausting. And then they would also get kind of annoyed with you, I'm sure. That's because, dude, I've been here a while. I've been watching this guy far longer than you, June. I just know how he works better. And it's not because it's like I'm bragging about it. It's just that you haven't been there.
You know, they don't want to be attacked.
You
It's always
call him
gonna
because
be
you can't name
the
a single
negative and
one.
toxic person who
Yeah,
wants to
there you
speak
go.
out first. Like that's the nature of the game, drama, right? And you have to understand that.
Yeah, who could he be
At
talking
least
about? I
in
hope
this
he's talking
case,
about Tevin.
and I've said
Tevin's
this publicly,
crazy as
I
hell.
feel like because you spoke to me on certain issues, not to say that you believed all my answers, right? Because some of them I was outright lying to you about the WWE championship.
Minority,
but
black
you
people,
spoke directly
Phil?
to me. You did
Yes.
make an effort to talk to fans who were willing, and I think that puts that documentary in a much different light as opposed to someone who literally just talked to detractors and regurgitated.
That's
the same
funny,
themes.
Soldier, that he ignored
I
it.
think that's respectable. I do. So.
I appreciate it, Phil, but I don't think it really. I mean, it makes it more interesting, but I feel like I've watched a lot of different videos to make this video, right? To make sure I cover like everything people want to be covered, and I find that they're pretty much the same. They're covering the same themes, even though I went like out of my way to really get fans. It doesn't really change the overall theming or your image,
Ooh,
really,
yep.
if that makes sense.
Oh yeah, dude, you said to me, I remember the final words you said to me about this thing before you were going to put it in for editing. You said, I just want to let you know this is going to be like unequivocally negative. It's going to be like bad when this
Yeah.
thing comes out. It's not going to be a positive documentary. I don't know why people thought I thought it would be. Like that's crazy.
Because you
It's
said it
covering
would
my
be.
history,
You were
my
worried
history
that
of
it would
lying
be.
and toxicity and all the things I've done.
What?
Why on earth?
Okay,
some
that's a
people
nice
thought,
little
like, we were gonna,
retcon.
like, as they say, glaze me. I have no idea. Like that was never the intention.
No one
We
is
were trying to
stopping
do
his
the most
fans from reaching out in a
comprehensive
DM. But this goes against
I mean,
his
yeah, like
victim narrative.
that's
Exactly.
that's just how it is. I think
DSP stopped him.
in your space, like throughout the lies, people get like a bit like unsure about like anything.
Exactly,
They
Heinz. That's
kind
how I
of
feel about it.
come up with like conspiracies.
Even
and
though I haven't
when
even
those
been
get,
here
like,
as
proven,
long
like,
as some other
true over
people.
time, it's hard to like build trust. Even
Like
the
I'm a
ghosts around,
newbie
like,
compared to what was it?
speaking
Silent
out. So
Weapons,
I
man.
think,
He's
like,
been here
honesty
since
might
the
there,
start.
there's-
That's crazy to me.
It's definitely not as strong in some of the other communities. I guess I've looked at, but like your community compared to others is definitely like a lot less harassive compared to like let's say Wings too.
Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard that he's basically got like the worst. Anyone. That's sad because
That's why you were so
watching the documentaries
scared
made on
at the
him,
idea
like,
of them
honestly,
coming over and
has he made
harassing you.
mistakes? Yes. Does he keep making the same mistakes? Yeah. I still don't think it warrants the levels that these people go and the crazy stuff that they do. Yeah, he's one of the people like of all the whole Lalcow thing. I legit feel that Wings is like a good guy that just keeps kind of.
Wings is an asshole.
One day, I really hope he lands firm and can stand for himself and not make the same mistakes because I actually feel like genuinely he deserves like success and a
You
life
hate
away
Wings,
from
Phil.
the levels of harassment that he's
Remember,
gotten.
you're not
I think
Wings.
It's unfortunate that somehow he got the hyper focus of the worst of the worst.
I mean, yeah, he could be funny and whatever, and also like a jerk at times. But I think like his biggest what is it, hurdle is he is probably like the least intelligent, so he doesn't really know what he's doing until like later.
Oh, you haven't
So-
talked to Phil.
and
Phil's
then he
dumb as
defends it because
shit.
He doesn't know how to like, I guess.
Yeah, that's
see?
true, Soldier.
You know what I mean? So,
LTG
yeah, like,
also
in
says
some
that he
ways,
has
I'm
the
like,
worst
damn, this
trolls,
guy-
even though
this
he
guy's
has
hard.
some of the most
Yeah, like,
relaxed trolls.
that's a good point you just made. I don't think anything he's ever done was like outright malicious, right? Like he's not a
He
malicious
told
guy. He's
someone
not
that
trying
they
to do
hoped their
mean,
parents would
harmful
die in
things.
an
He just
automobile
does
accident.
things, oops, and he didn't realize what he did, and now you're like you said, he has to
Yeah,
fix
yeah,
things
whatever. Hope
after
your
the fact.
parents die in an
So, and that's a
automobile
lot
accident.
different
It's
from
kind of
people who
toxic, Phil.
outright are doing something wrong over and over, and they know they're doing it. They know it's malicious and wrong, and they keep doing that same action. So, and that's a good observation.
Well, I mean,
DSP kind of told on himself right there. Did you guys catch that? Let's hear that again.
Face after the fact, says things, oops, and he didn't realize what he did, and now you're like you said, he has to try to save face after the fact. So, and that's a lot different from people who outright are doing something wrong over and over, and they know they're doing it. They know it's malicious and wrong, and they keep doing that same action. So, and that's a good observation.
So the admission here, and it's kind of a roundabout way, is that DSP does not think that he does malicious things. Because notice how he spoke about it as though it were someone else's thing. DSP does not engage in malicious things over and over again, according to DSP, which is very confusing to even suggest such a thing. Phil is pretty consistently combative all the time. If you say any sort of slick thing, you don't even have to say slick things in chat. He's all over your ass. If you're asking, hey man, don't you think you should apologize to the people you yelled at for trying to help you with your PC? Immediate hostility, immediate anger, immediate defensiveness. But now we're talking to Joon, and he sees this as something that other people do, but not him. I thought you said you were changing, Phil. And that's how I know this is all just pointless, is because DSP does not recognize his own failings. He can say it all the time. He can do all this lip service of, oh yeah, I definitely do that. I definitely do that. Except he doesn't. He doesn't recognize what he does. He just always finds a way to justify it. So it's never going to change.
You have money, you scam people, you're gonna spend it on burgers.
Joon is like Adam here, he ain't taking no stuff.
I will say I'm glad that he's not being submissive, but he is being rather naive. And I guess being naive isn't a sin. So, thank you very much, Paul. I appreciate it.
Well, I mean, Wings has been malicious.
Oh,
in
and
the
Phil
past.
has
There's
said he's
definitely
got
been
the worst
moments,
troll
like,
of
where he's
anyone.
gone,
Now Wings has the
like,
worst one.
overboard and
Yeah.
such. I believe there's a call where he was like doxing, like he expressed to Keemstar that he had Keemstar's dox and was threatening him. Like he has had those moments too.
I counted that in the previous
You know
one.
what I mean? Like there are times where Wings goes he goes crazy, I guess.
All right, I just got a
That's
couple
funny.
more questions, and then we'll probably wrap up here. How is Joon able to stay so impartial towards the people that he makes documentaries on when it seems like some of them do pretty awful things, and then he has to go through all of their
I
history?
got you, Roman Brubman.
I guess impartial, like, so thing with like bias and partiality, whatever. I don't know if I really am. I think people perceive that. I guess I said in the past, but the more I've been doing this, the more I realize my own biases. I guess I try to be fair, and the thing is with this, when my presentation style is, I think if you present someone in the most fair light, right, and in the best way you kind of like can, like getting all the counter arguments really there, well, as much as you can, right. That can be the strongest piece for or against them whenever you try to just find the truth, right? Because let's say, like in your situation, right? If I was a different person,
Kind
I
of
could
Redbird. He
literally
kind
just
of
make
is a
up lies
normie.
about you, because people would be more so willing to
But
believe
I
that,
wouldn't say in a
right?
bad
And you could
way.
be like, no,
He
they're
did
lies,
research
blah,
all
blah,
this.
and
I will
got
definitely
to
give
the
him
point
credit
where,
for
like, well,
that.
he has no
But he
credibility,
doesn't really
Yeah.
understand how
right? But I
DSP
really do
works.
try. I really try to get like the most honest and fair thing too, right? Because that kind of like I guess nips those criticisms of like, oh well, these are lies. Well, like no, I researched this. I've done the legwork. This is the best I could find, and this is the best way to, I guess, present someone.
Gotcha.
Okay, there
Okay.
you go. DSP didn't listen to any of that.
Okay, one more question from the viewers, and then I have like a final question for you. This one, I don't know if you've ever actually answered this one before.
We're almost done.
How did
We
you
are.
get
Oh,
the name
shit.
Joon? Like, where did that come from? Is that your real name? Is that a nickname that someone gave you? over
Dox
the years?
yourself,
Is that your
Joon.
online persona
Do
that
it
you
now.
adopted? Right?
Yeah, so Joon was just like an alias I've used for a very long time. And whenever I was making the channel, like you never like expect to make it big kind of deal. So YouTube wanted your real name whenever like you make a channel, and I was like, no, there's no way I'm doing
one
that.
second,
Right?
everyone.
That's ridiculous.
And the boss approached. All right, do what now, Phil? What are you lying to me about?
Right.
So I
The
put
Joon
first name, Joon,
lore?
last name, the King. It could have been like literally anything, right? It's just it would have been Joon, but it wanted like a second segment. So I just put like that for like I don't know. There's really like no reason. It could have been like truly anything.
Could have been anything. It's kind of like back in the day, I needed a login for AOL, and I couldn't get any combination of my name, so I just said Whoa Moses, right? And then okay, well then now everyone says, "Oh, Phil, you had Whoa Moses." Like it was nothing. It was stupid. You know,
It's not. DSP's defensive about something that wasn't even an insult.
Later on, when I was part of bigger into the Street Fighter community. Okay, well, first of all, Joon, I really want to thank you. This has been a great.
All right,
conversation.
fantastic.
I
We're
really
done.
Respect your time. I do have one final question, and
I'd be
I'm
pissed
curious
if
on your take on
Ludacris
this, all right?
doesn't call him
You now
Apache.
cover a bunch of different people on the internet. You've seen the toxic communities
be
that
fun.
form around certain people, like you said, like Wings and myself. Do you think there is potential someday, and I'm not saying you, but do you think there's potential someday that someone could flip this and actually do a documentary on the worst detractors and their communities, and would that have potential to be something that could blow up?
Not really.
That would be hard. That because with like the
And
people that cover it, it's
also,
like a
hold
scene.
on, before you even answer it, June, this is disingenuous as shit. Because what DSP's wanting to do here is that it goes back to what I brought up earlier, is that DSP lumps all these people together. When Review Tech USA had his big fall apart there, he was treating it like Review Tech's failures and personal issues going on behind the scenes was indicative of all of us. We all were basically Review Tech USA. We all had family situations that were falling apart, and we were using substances to get through it. And DSP wants this to be made because he is so confident of the idea that if you just pick the worst of the Detractorverse and then make a documentary about that, he can point to the documentary and say, see, they're all like that. they're all like Review Tech USA. They're all like Detractor 1, 2, 3, and 4, who are the most toxified ones. And that's the entire approach. And if he was ever confronted with an actual Detractor documentary, his shit would fall apart super hard. So it's something that he doesn't realize that he doesn't actually want. But he's pretty sure that it would be something he wants. And because I mean, I don't think I'd participate because it sounds really lame. But if I did participate, I'm like, DSP's not going to see any skeletons in my closet. My life's pretty well put together, DSP. So how does that help your narrative? Will I not be included? Will everyone else who has a life and has a family and a career that's not falling apart around them, will we be included? Or is it just going to be the runaway shitheads? And then you're going to point at them and say, that's all of us. No, this is, and again, this is where it kind of comes back to what I was, my thesis for the entire video is that a normie, or I really shouldn't call him a normie because that's really insulting. A person who has not spent time in the Detractorverse never really understand Phil. They just can't.
Other person, and there's a clear timeline, and it's a lot more consumable, right? Detractors are a broad field, so
This
like,
was his whole motivation. I'll
are
make
we talking
June
about,
do a
like,
doc on my enemies.
viewers,
Exactly,
you
so I
know,
can
like, are we
mock
talking
them.
about like just people who type in the chats? Because like I don't think anyone cares about those people. But if you're
Right.
talking about like the more like intense ones that like really go crazy,
Yeah, I would say that,
I don't know.
we're talking about people on Kiwi farms who are doxing people. We're talking about the
Yeah,
people
because
who are
that
making a
represents all of
living
us.
with these detractor channels. Just a couple of
Yeah,
them
he
on
isn't
like the
slick,
Boogie
no.
streams, or Memology 101, who literally take my videos every day and make toxic content out of it.
It's
The
your
simple thing is that
videos,
these
Phil.
people, when you analyze them, in reality, are bigger lolcows than the people that they fixate
That's
on
not
and make
true.
money on.
That
by
is not
making
true.
These videos, and I don't really know because I don't spend
That's not
time
true. You don't.
analyzing these people,
You
but
you can't actually make this claim, DSP. You don't know anything about Memology. All he does is he posts videos of you. The only thing that you could even halfway say is toxic is sometimes he interjects with text or whatever. Or he'll include a clip of Phil mocking someone, but use it in such a context as to mock Phil. He's not coming on there and saying DSP's a piece of shit and he should be beaten with a sack of quarters. He's not saying anything. He has no face or presence whatsoever. But DSP is just so convinced that if you say mean things about me, which he's not even really saying mean things about him, you must be crazy and unhinged. And it's a claim that he has no foundation to even suggest. You know, there's no long ass videos of Memology screaming at people because they didn't donate.
I just find it fascinating that people in a lot of ways might say that people who are focusing on the lolcows and making this content about them, in some cases, may actually be the bigger lolcows.
You already did a
Is there
documentary on
potential
Phil's
there in the
biggest
future for
detractor,
maybe
Phil. Yeah,
analyzing?
exactly.
I think there is some, but the draw of the average person is they want to be entertained. They want a clear cut story about like, especially like an internet figure or someone of like more prominence or like who really blew up, and
He's not looking
like
for a
you don't be
thought-provoking,
focusing
entertaining
on such
documentary.
a
He
like
wants people's
marginalized
faces
of
and details.
marginalized,
Yeah,
right?
he wants to
Such
laugh
a
at him. That's it.
unique kind of person that doesn't really represent anyone, and then like these more like intense people also
Yeah, exactly, soldier.
kind of like bounce
If you're
around. So
negative
yeah,
enough,
it would be, like,
negative
really
enough, you get
difficult, and
tossed out.
I just I don't really currently see that. I guess there is just also the level of intensity would be like more comfortable than I think. Like how do I say this? People online, right? Let's say you, Wings, Boogie, right?
Uh-huh.
You guys are funny and entertaining. In
Memology
your own
has
way,
another channel with
right?
500k
But
subs.
someone
Toxified.
online who does like
That should
really
be
crazy
Phil
stuff
subs.
might not be
Somehow.
as consumable to the average person. It might be more so too disturbing, and maybe the average person doesn't want to see that, which also affects the market. So currently, I don't really see that, if you know what I mean.
No, it's just
I
not.
get you.
No, you don't get
I've
anything.
thought about it, and I'm like, that it would be such an endeavor. Like, as arduous as it must have been to get enough for a 4-hour documentary about me, like, it would be like really like grasping at straws to try to get enough information, first of all, about these people, and then to formulate. Like, I would think the only way it could even be done.
So hold on, I'm gonna update the clone counter here. DSP is now stating that it would be an arduous task to get all this information about these detractors. However, DSP has apparently enough information to assume they're all sick in the head. So how can you make these two notions connect? DSP simultaneously knows nothing about them, but he knows everything about their personalities. This dude is so frustrating.
Like you couldn't even do
The
a
reason
video
his
on
train
the
of thought
wall.
is so
Maybe it would have
bad,
to be
Lynn, is
like
that even
a
if you
documentary
found
of,
someone
like,
that
here's
did
the
something
chronicle
worse
video
than
of the
Phil,
worst
it
detractors
still
of this
would make
person
Phil's
that
actions
they've
okay.
done.
Exactly.
It would have to be like the super video to put it all together.
It's
To try to
like
entertain
with the
it. Because you're right.
LTG.
I think
LTG's
on
commentary on
surface
Phil
level,
is
people find
100%
interesting, but it's kind
accurate.
of pathetic, a lot of them.
And
They
LTG's
have,
still a
you
piece
know.
of
It's a
shit.
difference between you make fun of someone in a
And
chat,
DSP
you
is still a
laugh,
piece of
or
shit.
you're literally trying to ruin someone's life. And by the way, you're getting money on that because you're monetizing the video at the same time.
Memology is not trying to ruin
But
your
yeah,
life.
I agree with you there that I don't think that there would be enough at this point unless there was like really intense research done and maybe like a super video. So
No,
Well, I
that's
mean, I
that's
don't know. It's
Phil.
just,
This
there's
is a
so many
retarded
aspects to it, but
idea.
I don't really know of any like intense ones that really like monetize their videos or really like that's the thing. If you're gonna like be doing like let's say send the police at your residence, right? You're not gonna be online or easily accessible or really have that much of a history. But that being said, I don't really see these
No
people
shout
I guess
outs.
making these videos. I guess right? They yeah. It just seems like a different field.
right.
Yeah, it
All
sounds
right,
like
so
revenge
let's end
porn,
with this.
Phil.
What's next for you? What are you working on right now? Like, what are your next couple of projects coming out? And is there anything interesting? in the
It's one
pipeline
on
that maybe you
Derek.
want to let people know about?
I have 3 videos actually. Lily Orchard, Doctor Disrespect, and Mr. Medicare. Those
Oh
are
yeah,
my next
DSP is
3.
gonna be so hyped. Man, he
Yeah,
loves
so
shitting on
hey,
Dr.
which one of those
Disrespect.
are you familiar with?
I know absolutely nothing about Lily Orchard. I think pretty much everyone knows Dr. Disrespect and what's going on with him right now.
And he shit on
And
him.
Mr. Medicare, I'm just now learning about. As
And
I'm
he
in
shit
this
on
kinda
him
new
too.
arc of my existence on the internet, finding out about people who talked about me and wanted to have interaction with me.
I don't
I'm
know
just
anything
starting to
about
learn
these
about
dudes,
these
but I
people
know
that
I
are
hate
going on
them.
this space.
Well, there you go. Like, I guess I'll hope to fill you in more on Lily Orchard. But man, like,
Exactly,
man,
Pat.
she is possibly the worst person I've done a video on. I guess if
Wow.
like it's really
Really?
bad, Phil. It's so bad. It's
That's
horrible.
kind of
Oh my
weird
god.
because
Yeah.
LTG, threatened to have
And
you
do you have
raped to
like an estimated
death.
time frame of when to
You
expect
know,
your next few videos?
so I'm sorry
I'm
about the
hoping to
language, but
release
that's
the
really
Dr.
what he
Disrespect in
said,
October,
basically.
as well as Lily Orchard. The Mr. Medicare one, I'm not sure because he has such a lengthy history, and I really don't know. Like, I'm trying to like gauge what to cover in that video. I do want to avoid like the political stuff, as to not like that won't be addressed too, but it will be more so like not really analyzed. I want to really more present like his history online and like I
I
guess
don't know, Seal.
people call him with the like a troll with the golden heart. I guess you know what I mean. He definitely has a lot of fans, and I can see that.
Yeah. I only knew him as someone who had spoken ill of me over the years. But now that I get more
See, that's how.
information about him, I found
That's this makes me want to pull my hair out. That DSP only contextualizes things as ill of him. You're not allowed to say anything about him that's negative because that's ill of him. It's just such narcissism, man. If someone said in my chat something negative about me or corrected me on something I did wrong, I don't see that as ill of me. Now, I'm not saying this with Mr. Medicare. Mr. Medicare did shit on Phil pretty directly, but sometimes what he was doing was just commenting that what DSP was doing was wrong. And for DSP, that's an insult. You can't tell me what I did was wrong. You can't tell me it was wrong to wake up my girlfriend while she's sick to make me din. You are not allowed to do that.
out he was just as critical of my detractors, like the SOK and groups like that. He was really reaming them over the years and exposing them for how bad they really were. And then you kind of see someone in a different light. Like, maybe I had a misconception of who this guy
Yeah,
was.
maybe you're
Maybe I would
super
wanna have a
stupid, Phil.
conversation with him, man to man about stuff.
Dude, he was
because,
banned from DSP's
it's
chat.
it's
Why?
fine,
He
right?
did nothing
So that would
wrong.
be fascinating. I think that's going to be out of the ones you just mentioned. Like personally for me, I know nothing about Lily Orchard. That would be fascinating. Dr. Disrespect, I feel like everyone is talking about right now, and it's kind of still happening. You know what I mean? Like he just the other day came back and all of that. But the Mr. Medicare thing, yeah, I think that might be the one, man. Like that could be a really interesting one for everybody involved. So good luck with that one. I'm looking forward to it.
Hey, thank you, Phil. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
All
big
right,
ups.
Joon, I just want to say
All
thank
right,
you so
Joon,
much
get
for
the
your
hell
time.
out.
I think this is a great
Goodbye,
interview,
Joon.
and I appreciate your honesty about everything because that's the best policy, as I'm learning slowly, right? And any last words or anything for the audience?
No, I mean just like it
Exactly,
was great
Heinz.
being on, having conversation, did so much research, and it's just cool. Like I guess talking to you. So yeah, pretty much it.
All right, Joon, thank you so much for your time, and you have good luck in the future with your work.
Yeah, man. I'll catch you later.
Bye bye.
Beautiful. I love you.
All right, guys. Pretty good. Technical issues out the butt to make that happen.
Yeah,
I
what
apologize
about
for those
that?
technical
Remember when
issues
you were
that
shitting
not
on
intentional
Craig?
whatsoever. But I think that went pretty well.
That's why I love the DSP show writers, man. Because think about it. The whole technical issues thing was kind of a it was there in the background the whole time while he did this whole segment of how he's changed so much as a person. Except that during this same stream, he shit on a person for not being professional and then demonstrated that he wasn't a professional. That's how it works. The DSP can't change because he doesn't have the required neural capacity to change. His brain just ain't right. Anyway, anything
No,
more,
did
Phil?
not. I liked it. I don't think. See, a lot of people were like, "Oh, we didn't get to the meat of this." And that. We'll talk about that. All right, but that's the interview. All right. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm
You
sorry
didn't
for
get
the
to the
crazy
meat of
technical
anything,
issues. I
really.
just had a lot of technical issues. It really sucked, and we'll talk about that in a
Exactly,
second. I'm
Laxlot.
gonna end the interview
It's a
portion
lot
of
of
this
fun.
video. I'm gonna come back and we're gonna do a decompress about what just happened in the conversation.
I'd
and
rather
go from
not.
there, and I'm gonna do shout outs and everything. So thanks everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed the June the King interview.
What's DSP doing right now?
Okay. All right. Let me get set up now, everyone. So to make this clear, what happened? Discord no longer works on my PC. I have no clue what happened. It does
Yeah, I'm
not
not
work
watching
on
this.
my.
I'm not watching.
If I click on
It puts like
it
every
crashes.
other input now.
I can't click on a text. I can't do anything with it, and that's very.
All right, that's it. I'm done. I'm not watching the rest of that. It was a rather disappointing interview. I guess I had my hopes set too high. I had unrealistic expectations for how that was going to go. But I felt like this interview was indeed very helpful because it did demonstrate that DSP has some sort of weird objective for trying to expose the trolls. And he's also going on this weird PR tour where he's trying to convince people, dude, I've changed, dude, I've changed, dude, I've changed. And it's really sad because some people like June are going to think that, oh yeah, he's changing, things are turning around. And June doesn't realize it. I mean, maybe he realizes it. Maybe he knows that DSP is full of shit, but he doesn't realize that DSP is incapable of changing because it's just not how his brain works. He thinks that he's the hot shit all the time. He always thinks that yesterday's Phil was the problem. Today's Phil is great. And it's always today's Phil that's the problem. Always. It just so happens that today's Phil also has the history of yesterday's Phils. And his weird lip service that he's been doing where he's messing up to things. It's very insulting to me that he does these because he never apologizes to the trolls who brought that up. You know, there's no actual change there. Because a lot of things that, you know, June brought up, trolls have been bringing up for years. But because June said it's okay, why didn't he say, hey, okay, well, you know what? The trolls have been telling me that too. I should have considered that. And he doesn't ever do that. And I guess it's asking too much for that kind of credit to be given to us. But I think on some level, it shows that DSP still doesn't really understand his own failings. He doesn't understand his own issues, which is fun for me. This is going to be a blast. It's all going to fall apart in some sort of way. I don't think it's going to necessarily be explosive anymore. I think it's going to be, you know, ends with a whimper and not a bang. But DSP just doesn't have the capacity for those kind of trajectories, which is what Joon the King said himself on Twitter. But yeah, I think that'll be about it for me for tonight. I'm not watching that Marvel vs. Capcom slop. It does not look entertaining to me. And DSP's just gonna body people and face no sort of challenge. I don't want to watch that. But Bill doesn't even think he has any feelings. No, he manages to convince himself that every day he did more or less okay. And so if you always have that mindset and then also combine it with the mindset of, well, what I did the day before yesterday was bad. Yeah, he's just not going to change. Ever. And whatever. This is how DSP's world ends. Not with a bang, but with a wet snort. Exactly. But I hope you all enjoyed. This was it was important lore. I wanted to make sure that I watched the whole thing in its entirety. So that was fun. Thank you everyone for joining me. You all are the greatest. I love you guys so much. CDSP, your detractor video idea, it would never work because every single person I talk to in the detractorverse, except for maybe single-digit people, they're all cool people. They're all chill, interesting people. You wouldn't know anything about that, Phil. You wouldn't know a damn thing about that. Your chat is full of brain-dead idiots. But yeah, that's your failing. You tossed out all the cool people, Phil. He had a very strict policy. You know, no cool people allowed. And well, it was a pretty thorough success. Any new 6 Erican clips? Not particularly. He did have this segment where he was kind of shitting on LTG. I could watch that. I mean, if you want to watch it, it's not really that particularly interesting. All he basically says is, you know, I make more money than LTG, so why does he think I'm trying to clout chase him? Which I don't know if that's true. 6 Erican seems, from what I've heard, he doesn't have good financial literacy either. So, but that's really about it. And I guess that's it. I'm going to stop saying goodbye. I'm just going to leave. Take care, everyone. Have a fantastic night. If you're going to watch, I'll just redirect you to someone who's restreaming them. Enjoy. And wait, what did we learn here today? We learned that Phil is open to feedback only if he can see your face.
Y'all have a great, safe, blessed day. You know what? I'm going to end this video on a really good, highly vibrational note.
Why should I allow you to talk when you don't support me? You don't give me any money to pay my bills, so therefore you're worthless to me. You don't have anything nice to say, therefore you're worthless to me. All you want to do is say snide comments, snide remarks, therefore you're worthless to me. You guys don't support me financially. You don't support me in a positive way. You don't encourage me to do great things. You don't fucking support me. So why should I support you and give you motherfucking assholes the right to say whatever the fuck you want? You don't get that fucking privilege. I won't let you have that fucking privilege. You want an opinion on this channel? Then donate some money. Put up or shut up. You want the right to talk on this channel? You want privileges? Then start paying my bills, motherfucker. Until you start paying my fucking bills, then you don't have the right, you don't have the privilege or the authority to say whatever the fuck you want on my fucking channel. Because I won't give you the privilege. Because if you're not supporting me monetarily, then you're fucking worthless to me.
Take care and be blessed, all of you. And may you find great light, power, and goodness within yourselves and redeem yourselves and just get out of the toxic minority. Period. Be with the majority and be good.
Get a 60-day supply of the planet.
No? You know what? I'm gonna say somebody in Russia just died, and no one just died with that second gunshot. Somebody really toxic. Maybe Putin died by his own sword. Anyway, we have cleared the air. Everything is good. All of you take care and have a blessed, safe day and night.